Section 0 of the Rubaiyat of Omar Khayyam. Translated by E. A. Johnson. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Recording by Algy. Section 0. Preface. This translation of the Lucknow edition of the Rubaiyat of Omar Khayyam has been the work of otherwise idle moments during nearly 30 years. Much of it has been done when in camp or in other situations where no works of reference were available. I have, however, subjected it to some revision, and hope that the most important errors have been corrected, and that it now presents a fairly accurate idea of the original meaning. I think that the great majority of the quatrains are, if not a literal, at least a fairly close rendering of the original text, but I have not hesitated to add expressions not to be found in the original when it seemed to me clear that anything like a simple translation of the original words would not convey the same ideas as the Persian. I have ventured to depart altogether from accepted translations in a few instances, such as in Quatrain 67, where I think kisht is certainly spear, and not, as it has been usually rendered, brick. The endeavour to check the flood with a spear seems to me a much more natural example of vain endeavour than to throw bricks upon it. Again, in 271, though the original only says that sight is given to the eyes of the dewdrops, yet, taken with the context, I have felt justified in serving the needs of rhyme by speaking of the flower's thanks for newborn life. Also, I think that one of the salient ideas of the quatrain, the rising of Christ in the birth of the seed that was sown, has hardly been sufficiently recognised. I may, however, mention that I believe the Lucknow text differs from others in a good many quatrains. There is, of course, much repetition, but though this greatly increases the difficulty of any attempt to render into verse without constant repetition of the same phrases, I think that on the whole translation repays the effort. There is generally something new to be found. Several quatrains are probably not genuine. For instance, number 7 is found in El-Maghrabi, who is probably the real author, but I have taken the work as I found it. I have departed from the 10-syllable line in many instances, and have even exceeded the limits of the rubai, but I can only urge, in extenuation, that I have found the endeavour to turn 762 quatrains of Persian into 762 quatrains of English a task of great difficulty, and I hope for the indulgence of those who may care to read. E. A. Johnson. End of section 0.
Section 1 of the Rubaiyat of Omar Khayyam, translated by E. A. Johnson. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Recording by Sean McElhinney. ReadingItself.com. At dawn, a voice from out the tavern door called to my vagrant muse, awake and pour, that ere my tale be told and life run dry, my soul may fill her jars with wine once more. Reproach not those who drink, though thou refrain. I do repent if grace thereby I gain. And thou who boastest that thy lips are pure, 100 baser things thy virtue stain. Woe worth the man whom flatterers surround, whose evil deeds through fear are virtues found. The vagrant who shows mercy to his kind, all other vagrants treat with scorn profound. Who fashioned me of water and of clay, and bade me here a while contented stay? Who warned me lest the cup my hand defile? Is thy hand empty, thou that sayest me nay? Since none may swear the sun shall rise again, cast from thine aching heart the load of pain, and drink with me, O moon, beneath this moon, on thee and me she ne'er may shine again. O thou in grace and beauty fashioned fair, eternities of heaven or hell to dare, thy place is heaven, yet have I no sin, and yet 'tis well, in heaven I may not share. Knowest thou why thou art enthralled of me? Cried the false goddess to her votary. From thee there cometh one that draweth me, dazzling mine eyes even as I draw thee. Think me not helpless, for the sword of speech shall yet my foes' inmost defences reach. The sorrow of their souls shall feed my muse, their skulls my cup to drink a draught from each. Heart of my heart, the sands of time run fast, yet heavy hang the hours in absence past. Hast never word of hope or cheer to send, or must the gulf close o'er my head at last? 'Tis wine that gives me strength to play my part, 'tis wine lays bare the secrets of the heart, and hence my prayer in this world and the next, to taste of both alike in equal part. Fire without smoke and wealth of effort vain, so doth the world reward my toil and pain. Let him who dubs me tavern hunter say, where went this tavern that has come again? Oh, for the love my heart has given thee, come, loose my bonds, and once more set me free, and bring the cup that I may drink to thee, ere of my clay its fellow moulded be. Seek ye my grave beneath the trailing vine, for I would lie where I may dream of wine. Even in the judgment day the tavern floor shall yield my ashes to the wrath divine. 'Tis grief has taught my hand to grasp the vine, for me the pearl with ruby light to shine. And now that sorrow's mead my soul hath filled, wine is my goal, and steeped my soul in wine. O sorrow, that our souls no more may meet! With thee the world's most bitter draught was sweet. Without thee bitterness of hopeless grief must fill the world that spreads around my feet. Though fair and sweet this mortal framework shows, stature of cypress, cheek of blooming rose, yet why the architect has fashioned so the prison cell that holds him no man knows. Why should I turn to him who bids me stay, or stake my all when I must pass away? Who fain would pause, fate takes him by the hand, and bids him further climb, and he must e'en obey. O stranger, in the name of charity, cease thy discourse, that I may fast from thee. I fain would keep the path, but thou deceivest me. Show mercy to the blind, and set me free. Drunk am I, dazed, distracted, be it so. Mad and distressed, disgraced, why, be it so. Since waking shows me all things are my foes, and I myself am nothing, be it so. Give me a cup, for 'tis the gift of God. His mercy grants to raise me from the sod. Drink deep, nor heed the summons to obey, since of mankind's obedience recks not God. The dying fish the careless angler took, and cast on earth beside the rippling brook, turns on the water no more longing glance than I on thee. O grant me but a look. The word of God is good, ye say, and so. Ye take the Koran, read awhile, and go. The lines that mark the cup contain a creed. Ye read more easily, and better know. The world is not save what is dear to thee. Dearer art thou than sight of eyes to me. Dearer than all is life, all else is not. Dearer my love 100-fold shall be. What spirit brought thy soul this night to me, within the veil by ways no eye can see, to be the solace of a soul on fire, as well the passing wind ye strive to see? Is it thy will I languish in despair, or in fulfilled desire banish care? I ask not this nor that, but only pray thou take me to thy heart, and keep me there. O heart of mine, deem not this treacherous age shall heal thy woes or turn a brighter page. To seek yet not to find increaseth pain, so learn to bear what time may ne'er assuage. Yet when the cup is given to the hand, the soul may endless realms of joy command. Transcendent powers clothe a mortal form, the speech a flood, the soul a burning brand. So would I drink that fragrance of the vine, even in the silent tomb shall still be mine, that when a kindred spirit passes by, may grateful odors round his senses twine. That when the rest are gone, we too may drink, and pawn our senses to the cup, nor think of hope in mercy, nor of fear lest fate set loose the powers from which those senses shrink. We too, with wine and song beneath the sky, life, soul, religion, sense in pawn laid by, when pulses leap with wave on wave of wine, the world's foundations as a bubble fly. The minnow to the wild duck called, Behold, the stream runs dry, yet surely it will come again, nor leave us here to die. The wild duck answered, Much indeed on frying pan or spit, by rippling brook or rolling flood shall profit thou and I. Light of my longing soul, to kiss thy fairy feet were better far than others' lips, and they were ne'er so sweet. Ever by day my failing hand thy fleeting form doth clasp, ever by night pursue thee in dreams my weary feet. When all creation void as air is found, when not therein but grief and woe abound, well mayest thou hold that all the world is not, well mayest deny that aught therein is found. 'Tis thine to drink this day that flies so fast, nor aught may call it back when once 'tis past. This fair world's face is to destruction set, yet drink, the memory of the draught may last. Lo, I have bowed the head to thy decree, water of life, whose slave I still would be. Whether in flask or bowl, 'tis set for me, 'tis wine that bringeth life and love to me. 'Tis tenderness that joineth heart to heart, in union sweet each finds its counterpart, and ne'er of earthly joy 100 shrines such harvest yields as heart may give to heart. And if beside the stream we two may lie, with wine and song who recks of destiny, true heaven and hell may be, but heed not those who prate of them, we rule them, thou and I. And if thou canst not give me certainty, why should I sit and hope for what may be? Haste, lest I drop the wine cup from my hand, drunk, not with wine, but dazed, no truth to see. Is there no rose? The thorn my need shall serve. Is there no light? Then darkness I'll deserve. Is there no liberty of soul, nor leader to be found? The monk shall toll his bell for me, his canons I'll observe. No man would break the cup he fashioned true, destroy his labor's fruit, his toil renew. And yet behold all these fair earthly forms, love fashioned them, shall hate love's work undo? Mother of ages, see the present rise, 'tis thine to grasp, look to it lest thine eyes rest on the morrow's evil, 'tis not yet, perchance may never be, and thou art wise. O wheel of life that turnest but for ill, O unjust judge, unjustly judging still, O earth, how shouldst thou blossom if uprose the shattered fortunes that thy bosom fill? And lo, the idol of my fond desire herself is taken in the net of fire. When the physician's self is racked with pain, how should the wounded soul to rest aspire? Hearts that are fashioned in the mold of love, nor fame nor mosque need ask their worth to prove, whose name is written in love's roll of fame, is free of hell below and heaven above. This circle where we come and whence we go, end or beginning did it never know, nor any man can truly say he knows whence is this coming, whither all must go. Time's hand is turned to man's destruction yet. Still the world's watch for thee and me is set. But since the cup is ours, we fear them not. No other rights than these we need to get. In love a heretic, no Mussulman, an ant that knows not sight of Suleiman. Pale cheek and hollow eye alone are mine, for when I bought the dearth of sweets began. To drink and to enjoy is all my creed. From doubt and faith alike I would be freed. Said not the spouse of time to comfort me, glad hearts are all the portion that I need? Give not the crowd the clue to learn thine art, nor of thy counsel make the fool a part, and guard thy countenance in sight of men. Eye tells to eye the secrets of the heart. Nor may I show the world to me revealed, so for my sins my doom on earth is sealed. And since this race of men no manhood knows, still my soul's burden is from men concealed. They say in Shaban, drink ye without sin, also in Rajab, for the Lord therein. Take special favor, and the Prophet too. I drink in Ramadan, for I delight therein. Sober am I, joy veils me from her face. Drunken, I lack the sense to shun disgrace. Twixt drunk and sober, sure a state must be, to hold me safe and keep me in good case. Fill high the cup, thou ache the weary brow, fill with the wine that doth with life endow. For life is but a tale by watchfire told. Haste thee, for time runs short, the end comes even now. If grief be the companion of thine heart, take what fate bringeth thee, nor heed the smart. Behold another's woe, and learn thereby how small thine own, and comfort thy sad heart. Oh, why should he who knows the truth take thought of foul or fair, or love make choice of weal or woe, or both the gift may share? What recks the dervish that he wear sackcloth or satin sheen, or what the lover of his couch, so his love's breast be there? The sweets of life no joy may bring to me, nor my desire fulfilled by time may be. So I the burden of a hope deferred have cast aside, and all is naught to me. Much have I wandered over vale and plain, through many climes, in joy, in grief, in pain, yet never heard men say, the traveller who passed this way before has come again. O ruby lips whose fragrance shames the bowl, soft eyes whose glances bid me taste the soul. The crystal cup may laugh with rosy wine, but deep therein the tides of sorrow roll. I bade my soul along the brink of time seek heaven and hell records of worth or crime. Then came the answer man's own record holds, himself and heaven and hell's in every clime. O wasted wanderings o'er hill and dale, lost effort, weariness without avail. O sorrow that a life should not afford one happy hour to adorn the tale. To whom is given to look behind the veil, to whom is given life's inmost keep to scale, man finds no resting place save in the tomb, nor comfort save an oft-repeated tale. And every flower that blooms beside the stream, thy fancy some departed love may deem. Tread lightly on the sward, nor rudely wake those who sleep softly from a blissful dream. Bring wine, for wine alone may quench the fire of fleeting hope and unfulfilled desire. Wake, for in waking sleep shall find its crown. Youth's ardor faileth fast, the strong must tire. The tree of knowledge never fruit may bear, while wander all and none the garden care. Weak hands to helpless branches stretched in vain. Day follows day alike, where all alike must share. Beware, nor in thy fellow's friendship trust. Still hold him far apart whom know thou must. He whom thou blindly choosest from the crowd, unveiled, seeks but to deal the dagger's thrust. Hail, shining wanderer from outward spheres, with soul unvexed by early doubts and fears. Hail, thou who knowest not whence thou art come, or where thy path may lie in coming years. I may be reprobate, but none shall say, wine gives no better hope than idols may. For on the morrow that I pass away, I'll call for wine and woman, heaven and hell may stay. If to drink wine is sinful, then sin is sweet to me. Where lover's hand in love is clasped, what place may fairer be? And if ye speak of bitterness and punishment to come, why, bitter I to me was sweet, and what is that to thee? Why dost thou grieve, because the world must pass? Can any stay where all are as the grass? The very breath thou drawest is but lent, so pay the score and leave the empty glass. Yet when the sky is rent and stars are dim, when rolls the world upon destruction's brim, I'll cling to thee and bid thee tell me why my soul should perish for a despot's whim. It is not given thee to make the plan, the world rolls on nor recks of struggling man, and since no deed of thine may turn the scale, accept thy fate, nor ask the rolls to scan. Man has to die but once, that once for all. Why then die decently, nor vainly call for respite? Flesh and blood are of the earth, and naught may save them from earth's funeral pall. Where is the morrow's promise, let him say, who boasted of his hopes but yesterday? Today a riper wisdom knows the truth, that all is vain, and all must pass away. So I who write, the tent-maker who strove with wisdom's text to deck the tents of love, by fate's dull shears is cut by thread of doom, and destiny a broker false doth prove. And while I hold a single clod upon the face of earth, it shall but serve to bring me wine and have no other worth. Though Miriam wear the turban and bring the coat of proof, may war and glory never weigh with wine and simple mirth. And hast thou drunk the week from end to end? Look that the Friday pass thee not, make haste to mend. Friday and Saturday alike are proper days to drink. Worship the Lord of days, the days but time ye spend. 'Tis not the thorn ye tread beneath the feet, nor angel's locks nor penciled brow ye greet, not in the keystone of the palace porch, nor vizier's ring, nor kingly crown its seat. Life's secrets to the soul may be in life revealed, nor even those of God in death concealed. Yet if, when wrapped in self, thou knowest not the morrow that parts thee from self, what lore may yield. And wouldest thou seek for happiness below, learn that thou leavest us naked, seek to know rather the why and whence, who brought thee here. What doest thou, and whither must thou go? The good and ill that make a human life, the gladness and the sorrow of the strife, leave it not to fate, for well we know how blind the power that turns the wheel of life. Perchance the cup to which my lips are pressed has lived and loved ere yet it passed to rest. The very handle that my fingers clasp has lain in rapture on a woman's breast. And why, O tent-maker, this grief for sin? Will great or little grief a pardon win? And what with pardon would the innocent? Pardon is sinner's meed. Where is thy sin? Beware, for surely time excites to strife, the sword of fate is sharp, and envy's life. Though time should bring these sweets, oh, touch them not, their sweetness is with deadly poison rife. The stream must flow, the wild wind may not stay, so from our lives has parted yesterday. Yet days that ne'er may come and days gone by, from present hours no joys may take away. Heaven's cup is empty for thy beauty's sake. In mortal breast no fresher hope may wake. Death holds the path, and no man may refuse to journey on, or other road may take. Since waking senses showed each limb to me, bound hand and foot by envious fate are we. Alas, alas, that still must reckoned be the hours that part my love, my cup, and me. The player must not seek by devious ways to scape the chances of the game he plays. Fate is the box, and changing time the dice. 'Tis thine to cast for good or evil days. Do good to all alike, to friend and foe. Who dwells with virtue vice may never know. Injure a friend, an enemy ye find. Shelter the enemy, a friend may grow. I know not whether 'twas in heaven or hell that my Creator meant that I should dwell, but brookside kisses, food, and flowing wine are heaven enough for me and thee as well. A full cup of the wine that lights my noon, the wine that serves the rose of joy for moon. Haste, for in waking sleep shall fortune gain. Youth's fire to water changeth all too soon. Drink in forgetfulness, thy wounded soul may find a moment's peace, though round thee roll the wildest floods of grief. Thou needest not fear, thine ark of safety is the brimming bowl. And yet I drink not that I may enjoy, or in rebellion self-respect destroy. Ah, no, I would but to forgetfulness my soul a moment from her cares decoy. The world is but a caravanserai, where evil men wax fat and wise pass by. So quench with wine the fires of earthly care, ere empty-handed ye go forth to die. The day I came not of my will. My fate's decree I leave unwilling still. And do ye wonder I would free my soul from all the sorrows that my bosom fill? The dark-eyed girls of paradise are fair, but so to me is wine, and who should care for credit when there's money in the hand, or heed a distant drumbeat in the air? And if I choose to take my heaven on earth, with all the springtime grants of love and mirth, think ye no evil, rather grasp the truth, that could I scorn it, I were little worth. Seekest thou life eternal? 'Tis not there. But here in spring, when all is young and fair, the rain-washed rose itself is drunk with wine of nature's pouring. Dost refuse a share? O bleeding heart of mine, whose evil fate is swayed by every passing moment's hate, O soul of mine, what dost thou pent within this body which must fail thee soon or late? Though coin be false, for me it ringeth true. The house but newly swept is fouled anew. There came a wise man from the tavern door and said, Drink now, then sleep the ages through. Life's but a stage on the eternal way, where halts the body's Lord a single day. Fate strikes the tent for one more stage set free. The traveler rises to pursue his way. End of section 1. Recording by Sean McElhenney. ReadingItself.com. Section 2 of the Rubaiyat of Omar Khayyam, translated by E.A. Johnson. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Recording by Sean McElhenney, ReadingItself.com. And did the heavens not war with me, 'twere strange, Fell not the rocks upon my head, 'twere strange. So if the judge who bought the wine condemned gained thereby credit with the folk, 'twere strange. Nor in the Holy One deaf ears we find. Full well he knows predestination blind. Evil befalls that is of evil born, though both worlds be in nature not unkind. Did the Almighty Craftsman take no heed of good or ill what time he fixed our meed? If all was well, why throw the work aside? If all was ill, who answers for the deed? But see, the fair spring showers have washed the rose. Arise, and in the wine-cup drown thy woes. The sward that serves thee for a couch today, tomorrow from thy dust the fresher grows. The rose, the garden, and the stream for me, with beauty's smiles alike both fair and free, and wine that all in rosy garb I see, temple and mosque alike are naught to me. What joy to dream that round the goblet's brim love's ruby lips in rosy kisses swim, that in the draught the absent lover drains, his mistress lends her heart's best blood to him. So fleshly lusts are sinful, yet they came by God's good will who bids us feel the flame. If good and ill be in almighty hands, why doth the master hold the slave to blame? Should hell be never peopled save through drunkenness of mine? Must my repentance lower bring my head than ever wine? And if I had no sin to purge, say, why is mercy shown? Couldst thou not pardon me for sin? What happiness were thine? The mosque may hold no place for me, no Christian church be mine. Why then hast thou created this helpless clay of mine? Now as a dervish without faith, a harlot void of charm, no creed have I, no joy on earth, nor hope of heaven is mine. The crimson tulip ever rears its head, to mark where once a hero's blood was shed. The violet nestles in the sheltering leaves, as mole of jet with damask cheek that wed. Wert thou but left alone a while with me, thy weeping lovers might forgotten be, though every beam that through thy lattice steals wake the dull motes to naught but love for thee. Today and yesterday are naught but memories of the past. Joy, labor, grief alike are vain when once the die is cast. So take the hour for what 'tis worth, be happy while ye may, nor strive to read the riddle on the leaves that turn so fast. Nor ever have I learned why turns the wheel, that ever bringeth woe and never weal. I gaze upon the past, but all in vain, nor memory may aught of hope reveal. Ere thou and I were born, day followed day, night followed night, each had their part to play. Tread lightly on the path, O traveller, 'twas a fair woman once, thou dost today. Among the wise 'tis held as fairly proved, through far and near from right and left it moved. And if some fools have sought to soil its fame, must I give heed and hate what God's approved? Brighten my day with wine, for all is dark. Save thy bright eyes, my way no light doth mark. Life, the round world, the universe may roll. To hell or heaven, thou art my safety's ark. By wine I know where mercy may be found, though fools declare me to rebellion bound. Were there no knowledge that should aught avail, and is not manhood best by knowledge crowned? Heaven's self is less than foam upon the sea, of pleasures granted by the grape to me. The landmark sure, no need to ask the road, though at the shrine I die, 'tis victory. O grant me but the gleanings of the field, where thy bright eyes so fair a harvest yield. My heart thy yet unspoken thought obeys, as Jamshid's cup to lovers' truth revealed. The azure dome of sky, the golden bowl, from age to age in endless order roll, bound to fulfill the stern decree of fate, and I as well must pass and pay the toll. The dusty road ye tread from day to day is still the dust of great ones passed away. That which today ye crush beneath your feet was once an open hand, ere yet it turned to clay. A draught of wine shall give me more than wealth to mortal mold, the cup an empire more vast than Kaikobad may hold. And though the lover sigh at dawn, 'twere better so to wake, than at the wine of Pharisee to drink deception cold. Perfect in faith, I reached the tavern door, yet soon the magic cord my girdle bore. Then for my ill repute the serving man cast forth my garments and swept clean the floor. Yet faith in mosque and tavern alike is ever found. The coach's bray in worship true becomes melodious sound. The mirhab and the pulpit, the rosary and cross, are tokens all of honest faith, if not of dogma sound. One draught of wine, for much though man desire, to little joy on earth may man aspire. O take the joy the passing hour brings, for here no man may gain his heart's desire. The wine I drink is of thy beauty's vine. All eyes to thee are drawn and lost in thine. Complete their spell, thy ruby lips alone may grant the light that makes a creed divine. Come, for my heart is sore for love of thee. Turn, O physician, once again to me. I live for naught save at thy feet to die, yet while I live, I hope that this may be. What meaneth all this talk of love divine? Is heaven naught save cupbearer and wine? Here we have wine and cupbearer as well, and what can either world give more divine? I know not if I pleasure feel or pain, save in the cup no earthly joy I gain. I drink red wine at morn and pledge my soul, and know what none save Isa might attain. Poor cupbearer, for he who fashioned me wrote on my brow that I should love but thee. Though this world with fair maids and wine were filled, though heavenly founts and houris promised be. They say a breath divides the false and true, aye, and a breath the saint and sinner too. Yet think not thou this breath of small account, a human life therein lies hid from view. Lo, this the jewel of an unknown mine, and that a pearl that never may be thine. For this and that we still take thought in vain. It needs another tongue to tell love's tale divine. Today's the season of my youth divine. I pledge my heart's desire today in wine. While life remains, should bitter still be sweet, yet sweet is bitter when 'tis life of mine. O heart, though this life all grief-laden be, and soul from body without warning flee, were it not well a while in grassy meads to rest with love ere grasses spring from thee? No law save God's responds to nature's call. 'Tis destiny that holds our life in thrall. That is and that shall be which must be so, and that which may not be shall ne'er befall. For thee the ruby sparkles in the bowl, to thee the blushing cheek shall pay a toll. Drink ere the wheel of fate that blindly turns shall strike thee to the dust and onward roll. Untimely born that in the lists he threw, ere yet my helpless frame was fashioned true. Now with the souls that bear the brand of woe, I wander vainly twixt the old and new. Lo, blood of men slain by the stroke of doom, lo, dust of men that makes their common tomb. Oh, take what life may give of youth and mirth, full many an opening bud shall never bloom. Bring forth the cup that so the heart's pure flame may tempt the torch of life to burn again. But he who tastes the ruby of thy lip shall never raise his lips to lips again. The moon is high, nor joy in vain is sought. Bring wine, for sense has learnt and time has taught. Fate strikes as strikes the leaven in the corn. 'Tis but a breath, and that which was is not. What may I do? My heart is burnt with fire. As men with wine, I drunken with desire. I help the weary and lead home the lost, yet God well knows my hopes are raised no higher. The wise by worldly wealth may set small store, yet without wealth the prisoner grieveth sore. In life's walled garden where the violet droops, while the rose laughs to see the red gold pour. O love, chief record of the realms of truth, the sweetest couplet in the ode of youth, O thou who knowest not the world of love, learn this, that life is love, and love is ruth. Behold the mount a myriad Moses trod, the church that owned a myriad Christs as God, the palace where a myriad Caesars dwelt, the throne that saw a myriad Khusrus nod. The cup of fate that meets the soul's desire, the draught of love that fills the soul with fire. In these I dwell, for this world's soul am I, of many forms and hues, yet one entire. My creed to grant enjoyments nothing loath, and little says of drunkenness or sloth, of this world or the next, but if they be, in this I fain would take my share of both. And shall I lay my own sins bare to view, and scorn or fear to speak of others too? Nay, what I see of both worlds tells me plain, 'twere well to raise the skirt in passing through. Art thou exalted? Thou shalt bite the dust. Is thy soul delicate? Shalt beg a crust. So take the chance and haste the stage to pass, nor wake the ills that sleep, since pass thou must. Good wine shall through the reed of friendship fall, in gentle murmur sounding sweet to all. Who seek delight, these to the note respond, as thirsty camels to the driver's call. The seed of love that in my heart is sown, in everlasting bloom thy power shall own. Seek not to keep thy skirt from suppliant hands, for naught may loose my clasp save death alone. Seek not, O love, to drive me from the door. I will not heed the frown that grieves me sore. Yea, though thou press my drooping head to earth, I will press forward in thy train the more. Yea, though I hold the fairest in my arms, though Zemzem's well replace the ripe grape's charms, though Venus's self should strike the lute, or Isa's golden tongue should hold discourse, where love is not, for me it hath no charms. Pour to me of the wine thy ruby lips distill, though for eternity ye pour, never my heart shall fill. In presence of thy beauty to boldness wakes desire, though my desire's height measures my courage still. O love, whose fairy face is life to all, thy song draws all to thee, who holdest my heart in thrall. Thou sun, whose seal is on the waters set, apart yet not alone, one, yet the all in all. Nor if I love am I for that to blame. Even the fool must feel the ardent flame. The cup that heroes quaff may serve for all. None save the cowards finds within it shame. And if the laws of life be rightly framed, and from the world's beginning so ordained, who warned me that the world's foundations so were set in feeble light that dimly flamed? I said, thy locks be long as cypress fair. She answered, bow thy head and so compare. I said, hath thy fair form no fruit for me? She said, no fruit for man may cypress bear. They tell me those who drink must lie in hell, yet what hearts will, hands do, they say as well. I tell thee, if hell yawns for all who drink, tomorrow heaven will be an empty shell. Men never cease to say ill words of me, yet I am blameless that their thoughts are free, though what against the law they find in me, save for a crime or two of sense, 'twere hard to see. 10 spirits in 9 courts of heaven's 8, to 7 planets of 6 spheres relate, the tale 5 senses in 4 corners told, that God in both worlds never made my mate. O shining cup that mocks the eternal sun, who taste of thee know both worlds' joy in one. The secret that in nature lies concealed, did ye but know it, by that cup is won. Love dwells among the locks that grace thy brow. Thine eyes are shrines whereat love's pilgrims bow. The pearl's disgrace that strove to match thine ear wakes to new life the love that slept but now. The grief that fills my heart cries out amain. My deep distress has passed all bounds of pain. My snowy locks are welcome, for I know from hoary heads light hearts may spring again. The bubble floats, nor any comes to guide, nor any fills the void that opens wide. And if the cup may warm us for a while, does Zemzem's well a better cheer provide? Behold, my heart is free from care today. The woods are bare, no lions bar the way. Nightly I sought the cup, but sought in vain. My turn is come, there is no wine, they say.
O sweeter cup than ever Jamshid drained, to die for thee were life eternal gained. The dust thou foot hath pressed shall light my soul. 10,000 suns such radiance ne'er attained.
O ruby lip, whose sweetness haunts the bowl, sweet pains awring the heart or rouse the soul, whose bark was never by love's tempest tossed, his life were death, though fair life's waves may roll. Ah, fill my cup, for though it please not thee, the sweet companionship it brings is all in all to me. It may not answer to thy creed, but well it suits with mine. To drink the cup of pleasure my love shall hand to me. Was ever brain whose thought was known to all? Was ever love that recked of great or small? Was ever crew that pushed to win the goal, without a leader save where love leads all? Who, cried the rose, my beauty can outshine, whose perfume strike the senses deep as mine? The nightingale replied, O fair today, I who behold thee all the year must pine. Through chair and throne ill news that travels fast of my ill fame for thrice 10 years has passed. Now if the cup 100 angels scorned were offered me, I'd scorn to take it last. My heart is cold as ever corpse were found, at rest as though within the tomb 'twere bound. To purge my sin, though tears of blood may rain, deep and yet deeper spreads the stain around. O love, through love I may not sigh for thee, nor brook the bonds the law would lay on me. My heart knows thee alone and none but thee. By his great name I swear who knoweth me. My heart would break the bonds my thoughts impose, and pour in flood that no controller knows. Fast as a Sufi bound in bands of law, add but a single drop, it overflows. The green sward and the rose of yesterday are dust, and all their beauty passed away. So quaff the cup, and take the joy ye may, for grass is green and roses bloom today. Old wine I love, the daughters of the vine, shall soothe my life, and if it be not mine, to win the bride my soul desireth, lo, her twin sister round my soul shall twine. O love, to dwell apart from whom were living death to me, where'er thou art, my fancy seeketh and findeth thee. When thou art not, 1,000 hearts are racked with grief for thee. Thou comest, and 10,000 hearts are love's free gift to thee. They said, how fair the harvest moon doth shine. So far I sought with all the skill was mine. I saw no moon that shone like thy sweet face, no form of cypress tall and straight as thine. That wine which is the life it makes to move, of beasts that rove or herb that grows as fate shall prove, bids thee doubt not lest life be nothingness. What thou art, if thou art, thy life shall prove. If praised I were, 'twas my disciple praised, and wine the cause, or none a voice had raised. Yet if 'twere wisdom taught the teacher here, take joy that what I taught the teacher mazed. In convent, school, and church, and lonely cell, men seek for heaven and hope to baffle hell. But he who knows the secret of the Lord soweth not seed whose blight he knows full well. You say today is Friday? In that case, drink from the bowl that takes the goblet's place. If 'tis your wont to drink each day a cup, too drunk on Friday may the occasion grace. Thou in whose charge it is the soul to train, be just to those whose every breath is pain. Take counsel with the wise, for thou and I are born of dust and fire, wind and rain. If wine and song may help to pass the time, if brook and meadow sound a soothing chime, ask thou no better, hell's a threadbare thing. If there be heaven, 'tis here, and now the time. Hast seen the world? All thou hast seen is not. All thou hast said, all thou hast heard or wrought. And though thou search from pole to pole 'twere vain, even that thou hast in secret done is not. And this poor structure of incarnate clay is not tomorrow save what 'tis today, and that is nothing. Life and death roll on. Ye see the turmoil, and 'tis all ye may. I scattered clay upon the world of clay, 100 foes and friends I swept away, and I have not to say of how and why. That which I had, and cast away. Drink now. Long must thou sleep within the tomb. No voice of friend or foe shall pierce the gloom. Be warned, and tell to none the secret dark. The faded rose may never hope to bloom. I drink, and all my critics left and right cry out upon the act as being quite opposed to the true faith. Is wine my foe? Why then to drink his blood is surely right. Where wine and cupbearer be not, all counts as naught. Where the reed whispers not, life's storms are not. I probe the world for secrets hid, but still I find the joys we taste may count for gain, the rest is naught. The passing cloud sheds tears upon the mead. Life without wine and flowers were sad indeed. Today, in truth, I gather flowers here, but who shall pluck the flowers that on mine ashes feed? The comrades of an hour must part, the soul ye cherish so, must pass behind the veil and singly come to know the awful secret. Drink, for who can say whence he has come or whither he must go? The New Year's morning dew doth deck the rose, set in the sward a fair face fairer shows. Speakest thou evil of the passer-by? Joy may be thine, his sorrow deeper grows. And when the gods my rose-tree planted fair, full well they knew what deeds my fate must share. Nor any sin of mine was hid from them, so why am I to burn, and they are where? The writing on the wall has passed away. There's naught save talk of good and ill today. I gave what I could give, I could no more. My grief and efforts might no further stay. Were not the dread of fate and death my bane, surely from life some figment would remain. But I, whose blood has come of Christian race, think but that death shall wash me from life's stain. I cannot tell the why of good and ill, or spin a long-drawn yarn the time to fill. I am, but cannot tell ye how or why. My secret is, but is my secret still. Dwell with the cup, for this was Mahmud's throne. Listen to the harp, for David loved the tone. Take ye no heed of who may come or go. This present moment counts, and it alone. Behold the cursed wheel that spins my thread. Behold the flood my tear-dimmed eyes have shed. My grief, whose fire should scorn the flame of hell. One moment was I free from pain. 'Tis heaven, I said. Once in a dream I heard a wise man say, no roses bloom for him who whiles away the time in sleep. Would ye that fate should sleep? Wake, for beneath the sod ye sleep, for I. End of section 2. Recording by Sean McElhenney. ReadingItself.com.
Section 3 of the Rubaiyat of Omar Khayyam. Translated by E. A. Johnson. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Recording by Algy. Section 3. Quatrains 201 to 300. Never yet spun the wheel to man's desire, and would ye reach the seventh heaven, or higher? Be food for ants or wolves? 'Tis all the same, since man abideth but in vain desire. Ask not for joy, one moment endeth all, a little clay remains where monarchs fall. 'Tis true the world was and life was for him, but now the pageant ends, the same for all. And this old hostel on the endless road, where night and day their chequers fling abroad, 100 Yamshids here have lain to rest, 100 Bahrams for a span abode. To voice his sorrow must the nightingale obtain the tulip's aid, or hush the tale. Yet fools accuse me in their ignorance, and say, without the cup his numbers fail. See how the rose of joy for thee doth blow. Accept the draught the friendly hours bestow. Drink, for time ever proved a treacherous foe. Is it so hard the fateful hour to know? The moon's bright rays have rent the skirts of night. Waste not thine hours so few, so fairly bright, for many a moon shall seek thee here in vain, who 'neath the sod heeds not the hour's flight. Clouds in the sky, yea, clouds of souls that passed, darkening the day that closes all too fast. Haste, for they call thy body to the tomb, to pay the debt they paid, and thou must pay at last. The breeze of morning wafted thy fragrance to my heart. She fled in search of thee, and we have drifted far apart. Till now, alas, my heart that was, her lord no longer owns, wrapped in the sweetness drawn from thee, the beauty that thou art. The castle courts are empty now, Bahram ye call in vain. The bitch fox broods, the lion sleeps where feasted Bahram's train. The grave that waits for all alike has cast the lots again. The wild ass with his hunter sleeps, the slayer with the slain. 'Tis ill to strive with the divine decree, nor may mankind be moved save willingly. I tried all stratagems, but none availed. Fate still was master, and must ever be. Thou sayest that God's help is not for all, and in repentance thine ill deeds recall. Yet speeches soft and thanks for good to come, sans penitence, suit not thy faith at all. The desert's face bathed in the New Year's dew, the land of sorrow by new birth made new. Let love and springtide hold the place awhile. This springing green thy dust shall oft renew. Has earth no better hope than pagans know? That I should strive to check the ocean's flow with the spear's point, when to my love and me a cup of wine gives all we ask below. He in whose heart is sown the seed of truth loses no day from the brief tale of youth. Either men seek the favour of the gods, or seek the cup of pleasure and of ruth. Woe to the hearts that from the fire turn, nor bear the brand that marks the souls that burn. Past but a day without the stain of wine, that day is lost to thee, nor may return. Lo, I have served thee ill and crave thy grace. My heart is dark, no light save from thy face. Grantest thou paradise for service true? Then pleasure's sold, I seek a gift in place. How long the lamplit mosque, the smoke-grimed cell? How long the bait of heaven, the scare of hell? Behold the tablets where the Lord of Destiny declares that what has been was not, and what fell not befell. Woe worth the heart that lonely cannot dwell. Shame bears him company in earth and hell. Free hearts and fearless tread the path alone, nor need the woes of life to others tell. I deem it shame to play the drunken brute before the world. Therefore, nor lute nor flute, nor e'en my heart for drink shall mark the time. All drunkards, save our Lord, pray follow suit. Still may we sense the perfume of the bowl. Though faithless ages all effacing roll, yet of the wine we drank no drop remains, nor know I when myself must pay the toll. Thy soul the kennel of thy lusts confess, filled but with empty sound and profitless, with craft of fox and wakeful sleep of hare, treacherous as wolves, as panthers pitiless. There is no heart but bleeds when far from thee, who once is seen distraught must surely be. Thou hearkenest not to any man's desire, yet may no man from that desire be free. A mighty smoke that hides but little fire, we turn the cards, nought makes for our desire. And though we yield to powers we may not reign, by that no skirts are lifted from the mire. Keep faith, O stranger, with thyself, it shall be well for thee. Betray thyself, and ill shall fall alike on me and thee. Poison is physic if it suit the case, and physic misapplied may poison be. Heed not the grief that fills this world of woe. Stand fast in faith, though chances come and go. Yet drink, and give to drink, for all must fade, and though wealth come, it passes even so. We call for wine and woman, and the morn shall pay for all, and he who remembereth this to him shall chances fall. That in this world of sorrow 3 things mark out the way, the wine that wakes, the gift that slakes, the morn that bears the pall. Thou, at whose presence opening flowerets close, whose frown on pagan gods a shadow throws, whose lightest breath can all the fates arouse, and check on rook and pawn alike impose. What reck we that our sands run out in Balk or Babylon, or bitter be the draught or sweet, so once the draught is done? Drink then thy wine with me, for many a silver moon shall wax and wane, and turn again, when thou and I are gone. What profit have ye of the world? I've none. Or from the life ye led therein? I've none. What worth the lamp whose radiance lasteth not, or what yon vase's fragments one by one? We know that wine and roses make for mirth. The miser and the mourner cling to earth. Who knoweth not, his ignorance may pass. We who have drunk should know the liquor's worth. Nor turns the wheel more freely that I came, nor grew the glory, nor the pomp, nor fame. And since none gained thereby, I never knew what was my coming, and all else the same. We pluck the rose, yet sorely wounds the thorn. Though deep we drink to-night, we rue the morn. And though 1,000 lives were granted, say, were it not hard to wait the last day's dawn? Did he bid the world's foundations stablished be, that wounded hearts might know yet deeper misery? Did he gather ruby lipped and perfumed tress to fill the casket of the tomb and the depths of earth and sea? The sun has cast on wall and roof a net of burning light. The lordly day fills high the cup to speed the parting night. The herald of the dawn proclaims that life once more shall wake. Arise and drink! The darkness flies, the morning rises bright. This be my hand the cup or bowl to hold. 'Twere pity it a meaner thing should hold. O lover, art thou parched, when wet am I? Yet where is fire that burns in water cold? Ere yet thy race in this world's course be run, drink, for good wine shall heal the heart undone, and loose the lock that binds thee, strand by strand, ere yet the strands of life be loosened, one by one. Thy past rebellion shall be reckoned all, nor my submission profit thee at all. Pass on and gather not, for well 'tis known who passes gains, who lingers loses all. The portion that a blindfold destiny, for good or ill, has meted out to thee, all that is thine. Take, and contented be. That is which is thy fate, and that must be. My soul must pay a ransom for its kind, as grains of sand must pass before the wind. Yet would ye know for sure where hell is found? Hell is on earth, where fools claim men for kind. The streams of life and death together flow. The new and old, ever they come and go. Nor any man may stay the steps of time. As others came, ye come. As others went, ye go. My heart's a lamp lit by thy beauty's flame, and though it die, life's fire burns still the same. The moth that perished in the flame it loved was even so. It died to feed the flame. If to drink wine be sin, mark well with whom you drink, and where you drink, how much, also from what you drink. And if these 4 conditions be observed, what other draught than wine should wise men drink? They who adorn the heaven's starry plain, who come and go, and pass to earth again, who fill the sky's blue vault and earth's deep womb, who dwell with God, and shall while worlds remain. Behold the motley crowd that sweeps along, scarce born, in haste to reach the tomb they throng. What reck we though for these no morrow come? Drink, for our nightfall may not tarry long. They who have come and passed away again, sated with pleasure's cup, or racked with pain, have drunk the final draught of nothingness, and sunk to rest, now wrapped in sleep remain. Though now thine eyes do light the world for me, yet learn what wisdom bids me show to thee. Though they may build thy fortunes fain to-day, many, like them, have been, and yet shall be. He who is learned in the law well knows that scruples vanish swift as water flows, and surely 'twere the depth of ignorance should we pervert the judgment laws disclose. And he, of human faith the spring and well, knoweth how high the tide of doubt may swell. Without concealment sceptics preach their creed, the wine its depth of folly knows full well. The source of life holds all the law of heaven, to number hairs and veins to him is given. Creatures may be by stratagem deceived, how cheat the powers by whom all life is given? And since I may not mould my destiny, why should I strive to alter the decree? Rather I choose to dwell apart and mourn, that late in time I came, and swift the end must be. O treacherous world, that ever bringeth pain, nor loosed the bonds of souls that cried in vain, but adds to those who knew the taint of sin, spot upon spot, and darker stain to stain. Nor am I one to tremble on the brink of that great gulf wherein we all must sink. Life is a lodging lent me by my God. The stirrup cup is ready, so I drink. Yet will I tell thee of a thing to be, and in 2 words will make it clear to thee. The tomb shall hold me for desire of thee, yet 'tis thy love at length shall set me free. No vain regret should vex the wise man's soul, so free the tide of earthly pleasures roll, while e'en in death shall thirst the coward's clay, death in the heart while wine doth fill the bowl. Why cling ye to this fleeting world of woe, where good and ill in mingling currents flow? Enjoy while yet we may, this scene shall soon be rolled up with the rest, and laid below. Where the soul rules, let thought be guarded well. Where rules the body, where that thought to tell. Let every sense be wakeful under guard, but give the sense no power to break the spell. See how the potter, as he shapes the clay, would clothe it with such talent as he may, yet he may pat and pinch from dawn to eve, whate'er his thought would make it, 'tis but clay. So that my lips may press the cup, I asked no other meed. So that my soul is lost in thine, I know no other creed. But when the end of all is come, and these my lips are gone, thine are the riches of the worm that shall upon them feed. Ever in vain I make my nightly moan. The strand of my life's sea with pearls is strewn. The tears I shed, yet my cup's empty still. What would ye when the cup is upside down? Then come the wise men, all with wisdom filled, who seek the truth and light in science skilled. Yet can they show no road from this dark place, their mouth with fables and with dreams are filled. For these are prisoners, bound to rule and law, to balance 'tis and 'tis not, without flaw. Go bring to such as these a draught of wine, for sour grapes are all they ever saw. None but the old to evil hold the clue, and know the bitter in the sweet, though fair the outward hue. The house of life is wrecked, roof, doors, and corners all are desolate, and naught but ruin lies in view. And wisdom, that man's happiness pursues, Daily 100 times the tale renews. Take thought, this quick-sprung friendship whence it comes, one plant grows quick, one scarce its strength renews. I ne'er knew exile for desire's sake, yet to few secrets was I not awake. Now that in wisdom's light I gaze around, I know that I knew naught, and comfort take. Long sought I evening in the morning ray, at length from self a space I passed away. Then I returned to self, and seated there, I saw both good and evil, night and day. This night I'll pledge thee in a cup of wine, yea, all 2 cups may grant me shall be mine. By triple oath old reason I'll divorce, and take instead the daughter of the vine. A little while a slave to sight and sound, a little while by good and evil bound. Though life and death on all thy steps attend, thy resting place at last is in the ground. A false diviner once, to prove his worth, writ in a horoscope his fate set forth. Then take my life and read it upside down, and cast my horoscope for what 'tis worth. The stars that shine in heaven's vault above are far beyond the sage's wit to move. Beware, nor let the cord of wisdom loose, for these in council fail their rules to prove. At morn, when dews refresh the tulip's face, and deck the violets that each meadow grace, in justice must I pass from wrath to joy, though I should fold my petals in disgrace. Now is the world in verdure clad, and now the hand of Moses whitens every bough. Christ riseth all around, and tears of joy each floweret's thanks for new-born life avow. What matter riches? Grant me but a crust, a stone or 2 to raise me from the dust. I own no slave, nor am I slave to man. The universe is mine to hold in trust. Well is it that the sky will nought with clay, or casts on earth save that it takes away, or never rain should fall save blood of men, from now and ever till the judgment day. As clings the peasant to his mother earth, so loves my soul the world that gave me birth. Yet when I think what joys lie buried deep beneath the sod, all joys seem little worth. A day will come when all shall have their due. Thy power to perfect wisdom holds the clue. Strive to be perfect, for in that great day the camel and the hump are one to view. Ere yet destruction on thy head shall fall, bid them bring wine to feast thy comrades all. Dost think, O fool, that thou art ruddy gold, and buried once thou wilt be sought at all? When I am dead, my clay will count for naught, my parlour's state be in example brought. Yea, they will paint the vine and rose I loved in colours false, and even form distraught. Some, in vain boasting, miss the goal in view, some vainly seek the beautiful and true. Yet when the veil is drawn, all men shall know the fallen who may never rise anew. The true and constant no repentance needs. Good wine's the draught of life for which he pleads. If any need repent in Ramazan, perchance through prayer of mine his prayer succeeds. Drink wine, if ye would win your heart's desire. The tree of grief thrives only in the mire. Read but a fragment of the book of life. Beyond this world ye may not yet aspire. When the grey dawn of light and darkness meet, bid thine hand raise the cup, the day to greet. Men say the truth is bitter to the taste. Well, wine is true, yet wine is ever sweet. Though last night's wine has left no trace behind, to drink today I am but ill inclined. Because thou bidst me never drink by day, were I to drink, ill fortune I should find. Behold, the rose her perfume spreads around. May we not sprinkle wine upon the ground? That, free of heaven and hell, of whore and gin, awhile we sit to taste the joy we've found. Heaven teems with beauty as a flowing well, and fountains flow with wine, or so they tell. If to love wine and woman there's no sin, is it a sin to love them here as well? Yet the steed of heaven his housings bore, or Pleiades their shining jewels wore. My lot was written in the rolls of fate. Where is my sin? 'Twas destiny, no more. Many there be who nightly drink their fill, many who daily preach their master's will. All drift upon the flood, and none stand firm. One only wakes, the rest are sleeping still. Drink wine, for many a jasmine flower shall fade, and many a cypress cease to grant its shade. Oh, taste the fruit of life while yet ye may, for soon shall wither every verdant glade. Nightly my sighs disturb the stars of heaven, nightly my tears to sea in floods are driven. To-morrow, said ye, we may drink with thee, who knows to me a morrow shall be given? O friends of mine, if ever kindly fate bring ye together, each to each his mate, when first the magic draught of wine is poured, think of poor me, and of my lonely state. The day is fair and soft the wind, each rosy cheek glows in the breezes kind. The nightingale spake to the rose, Good wine, then all this fuss were nearer to my mind. How long shall self-love sway thy senses all, or useless logic keep thy mind in thrall? Drink, for if life bring sorrow in its train, 'twere best for help upon good wine to call. Drink ere thy body in the dust they lay. Drink ere the cup be fashioned from thy clay. Vex not thy soul with thoughts of heaven and hell. These be vain trifles of an idle day. The love that fain would earn a fair reward is dead as last night's ashes on the sward. True love took never thought of time or place, or felt though hunger pinch, or though the way be hard. Who promised me of heaven's joys a share, then declared wine accursed both here and there. Because in wine a camel's girths were cut, to call all drinking sin was hardly fair. Naught but the name of joy remaineth now, naught but the empty cup is left thee now. Draw back the hand of pleasure from the bowl, the unpressed grapes thy only solace now. They say that heaven is all wells and springs of wine and honey, and all pleasant things. Yet fill my cup with wine, and I'll drink now, could coin more value than a promise brings. Who put their trust in this world's changing face are lost, and, save in sorrow, find no place. They cry in vain when death's dark hour is come. They trusted in a phantom show for grace. So trace thy path, that none thy coming greet. So dwell that no man envy thee thy seat. So bear thee even the mosque, that none do aught behind thee that may not be meet. In wisdom's path on wisdom fix the thought. Hast thou a friend? Of good or ill think naught. Wouldst gain applause from all the world? Why, then, repose in peace, and of thyself think naught. And thou wouldst learn the secret few may gain. Heed not though through thee come another's pain. Dread not the hour of death, nor fear though fortune change. Each in his turn to all men come the twain. End of section 3.
Section 4 of the Rubaiyat of Omar Khayyam, translated by E.A. Johnson. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Recording by Arden. Section 4. Quatrains 301 to 400. 301. The rolling world of babbling fools is fain, who priceless pearls of wisdom pierce for gain, and when heaven's secret still is all unknown, they wallow in the mire and sleep again. 302. O woe for fools who fill the wide world's bound, all fire and yet drum empty save for sound, and wouldst thou such to kiss thy feet begin, earn but the world's applause, their need is found. 303. Drink, for until thy soul from care be free, the sorrow of the world shall cling to thee. Choose rather fire, for when did wells of life bring aught save dust and wind to comfort thee? 304. Drink, that thou take no heed of small or great, or strive thy horoscope to calculate, nor seek of chemic lore to know the truth, for in one drop 1,000 lie in wait. 305. Now the beloved comes to seek his own, the husbandman to gather that was sown. The silken robe of life is worn by time, the lute's last string must sound its latest tone. 306. The wise men say the dead again shall rise, e'en as they died, what then of him who dies, and leaves but wine and women, as must I? I pray thee let these also with me rise. 307. Why steep these selfish ones their souls in wine? Why make the amber face as ruby shine? Well, they shall wash me in it when I die, though save a gravestone never thrown be mine. 308. Though sorrow for my sin sweep o'er my soul, though fires of conscience o'er my senses roll, one last condition holds repentance still, the slave of pleasure still shall pay the toll. 309. The breath we give 1,000 lives to gain, the bitter sweet, the pleasure found in pain, the drop worth all from here to far Cathay, the drop for which we searched the world in vain. 310. When Venus ruled the heavens, my lot was cast, and from the first the part I played sat fast. Yet shall the shattered remnants of my heart prove key to wisdom's treasure house at last. 311. Here in the tavern naught is found but wine, to purge my sin, nor any care of mine can cleanse my name, and so perhaps 'tis well. My veil is torn, and nevermore its threads may intertwine. 312. There be an outward show their faith who pin, and set the body against the soul within. Well, I will set aside my love for wine, when they forgo their lust to chide my sin. 313. The feast has come to do good deeds toward meet. Khayyam will fill the cup the hour to greet. Prayers are but fetters, fasting but a chain. Blighted by these, joy moves with lagging feet. 314. O take the joys that earth may offer thee, and on her sward so fair by stream so free, lay thy grief-laden breast awhile ere she to her deep mother bosom gather thee. 315. They say that in the dreadful judgment day our Lord and friend will coldly turn away, yet sure from rising naught save good can come. So hope, nor let such fears your soul dismay. 316. Rejoice, for sure the festal moon is new, yet not for this shall any gain his due. Wilt pour for me, O cupbearer, or no? The end will be the same for me and you. 317. When my last resting place the fates prepare, be sure of flint they'll make my couch with care. Ye think perhaps they'd deem a brick too hard, to blend the clay with water, wine they'd spare. 318. Though save one breath, life held no other gift, to draw that breath in joy were worth a shift. But ne'er forget that aid to fellow man, to live in joy holds all such joy and gift. 319. Living in hope one life I cast away, nor knew therein of joy a single day. Therefore I fear lest life that now remains, all that from time I reft should take away. 320. I bade the winds to waft my fortune home, yet of my hope no day of joy has come. Now am I filled with dread lest time should lack, till my life's garden bare of fruit become. 321. I watch time's chariot wheels roll on in vain, the joys they bear pass by nor turn again, and every moment's joy to mortals given bears bitter fruit 100-fold the pain. 322. It must be so mankind must mortal be, thus clothed from head to foot in pain we see. Man run the race with lust and lose the prize, and in his fellow's path as dust is he. 323. O wretched clay that must decay alone, nor for thy sins may store of wealth atone. My waning life must part my wealth in me, though in that life no moment's joy were known. 324. O life that plunges in the gulf of doom, O tree that save of sorrow bears no bloom, thou must pass on nor any man may know Why moves the crowd or who comes in his room? 325. With thought's sharp needle wisdom may be sown, and God's own self by word of mouth be known. Yet some ne'er learn the secret of the clue. In haste they speak, in death their fault atone. 326. There be who found release from this world's care, and rode the steeds of courage through the air. Is not thy nature e'en as the heavens, to know and forth on wings of hope to fare? 327. From wine to man shall joy and pleasure spring, the search for knowledge naught save sorrow bring. Yet wisdom lacks in him who trusts to wine, who seeks the green shall find the withered thing. 328. For I am sick with pain, my bones are filled, parted from wine my very soul is chilled. O look thou on me, for if fault there be, save I drink wine, my cup of life is spilled. 329. With wine and woman and the rippling stream, while yet I may of joy in life I'll dream. Such as I was I am, and as I am shall be. I drink, and wine is still my theme. 330. Enjoy thy kingdom, time shall take the toll, the clay that serves today to house thy soul. Built in some future Adam's palace wall, shall watch the stars mark out the endless scroll. 331. And this year such a Ramadan has been, to fetter sense in life as ne'er was seen. Grant, Lord, that this may dull the people's wit, and make them think Shawwal came yestereen. 332. O sorrow that the scroll of youth be rolled, and the sweet spring its tale of joy have told. Weep for the flight of youth that soared in vain, that fate should such a page of woe unfold. 333. How mean the drunkard who, with wealth to spare, should fill the world with shame his sins to bear. As ruby casket hides the emerald sin, or eyes of Eden's serpent blinded were. 334. Now by the robe that Allah's creature wore, of sense to taste the joys the heavens bore, do all things sleep though he repudiate, who brought the gift and left it at the door? 335. Tomorrow sees the term of exile close, with rising fortune sure the cup I'll choose. When woman's willing and the hour is ripe, 'tis now or never take or leave the rose. 336. That save in man no being there may be, to many a mind of man is hard to see. Yet drink but one draught of the well of life, no creature save thyself thy soul shall see. 337. Since in these days the wise may nothing gain, no fruit of time save folly may remain, then bring forth folly that is wisdom true, for we be fruit of time, that sure is plain. 338. Better the wild waste than a prison cell, the hermit's saintly fire burneth well. When cloak is patched and pilgrims surge the robe, tread we on pearls or dust, what boots to tell. 339. Was ever man who won a woman fair, ere learn his heart the pricks of fate to bear, e'en as the comb till cleft 100-fold, was never fit to grace a woman's hair. 340. Do I lust for the idols of China, what then? Have I ever my hand on the wine cup, what then? They say, may God give you the grace to repent. If you do not, nor I run to seek it, what then? 341. O seed by failing spring untimely sown, soul on the pyre of grief upraised to moan, dust that shall ring the world by wandering winds, scattered in vagrant atoms, helpless and alone. 342. Who sleep the sleep of death from speech with thee, until the judgment day at least are free. And still ye say this man no message bore, and of that one he spake no word to me. 343. Forswear not wine if fate good wine doth grant, though for the 100th time thou dost recant. The nightingale sings sweet, the roses bloom. How in so joyous time should joys be scant? 344. Still the gods grant good wine both new and old, still earth and sky entranced my senses hold. Repent, they cry, while yet repent ye may. 'Tis his to grant repentance, or withhold. 345. No man has ever pierced the veil of fate, nor ever soul has passed the secret gate. Many have told the tale of effort vain, yet none of knowledge gained, and still the listeners wait. 346. But half a loaf a day in freedom won, a broken jug of water thanks to none. Were better far than wage for service given. When all alike may share, why serve the one? 347. The soul's twin soul for all men lies in wait. Though thy twin be not now, he waits thy fate. Though thou be one, and he be one today, yet strive in thought, thy twin soul finds her mate. 348. Oh, were I by the margin of the stream, spouse of the brook with wine to grace the theme, as thee blush rose for 10 days' bloom, so I would such a space of joy high fortune deem. 349. As blooms the rose, my nature smiles away. Then raise the cup and pour good wine, I say. For here I fain would bear my fate in full, ere yet my atoms mingle in the clay. 350. Since Venus and Arcturus sailed the sky, more joy than wine could give no man could buy. Why then do men sell wine at all? For sure, true value ne'er is given, however much they try. 351. Hail to the cypress form thy power inspired, forgetful of the ill the foe desired. You say no wine jar comes from Moslem hand, the gourd's creator first my praise required. 352. They say the moon of Ramadan is here, henceforth the genial cup must not appear, but on the last day of Shaban I'll drink, that wine may last me till the feast is near. 353. These be my friends, yet far from grace they fall, and give me wine to cloak my sorrows all. And when I die they'll mold my human clay into a brick to face the tavern wall. 354. Some the earth's face have worn in journeys vain, matter and spirit's secrets to explain. Though night and day they search for evermore, still the world's key will be to seek again. 355. Full many a test they made before they passed the mold that shaped this mortal form at last. No fairer may my nature hope to be than when from out the crucible 'twas cast. 356. 'Tis true I drink, but all men like to me would drink as I do if occasion be. In truth, ere time was, God knew I should, and did I not, God's law would folly be. 357. Who ere time was, the eternal secret knew, he only mortal nature may subdue. From germ to man we watch the crowd pass by, no mother born may perfect rise in view. 358. Though pure in life's account our record be, destruction waits the nod of destiny. Then give me water from the well of life, to slake my thirst ere clay my portion be. 359. Good wine that wings the lover on his way, that lends to beauty's glance a brighter ray. All Ramazan I never tasted wine, so Shawwal's moon the brighter seems today. 360. Ill-wishers rarely gain their ill desire, ill-doers reap 100-fold of fire. I wish thee well, and thou all ills to me, I suffer not, thou grovellest in the mire. 361. What profits thee this crew on traffic bent? With my poor wisdom will they be content. A year may scarce suffice to pour the stream, a day's fierce heat will see its moisture spent. 362. My fellow soul, whom yet I never knew, in any raiment clad of any hue, rose as the phoenix to the highest heaven, nor as the owl lay hid from mortal view. 363. O sorrow that our wealth of life is spent, our bleeding hearts by cruel fate are rent, nor any from that other world may tell aught of the friends who there before us went. 364. Tomorrow when the good receive their lot, to me they'll dole the portion of a sot. If I turn well, they'll count me of themselves. If ill, they'll cast me out and let me rot. 365. Of those who strive to walk in wisdom's way, too many kine installed to milk, we say. But folly's garb would suit them better far, for they might sell good wine for milk today. 366. To prayer and fasting when my soul inclined, I said, who asks a boon of God shall find. Alas, the soul I cleansed is stained with wine, and though 'twere but a drop it serves to bind. 367. Let every drop the cupbearer may spill, the grief of some sad heart thereby fulfill. And in God's name I claim this wine to be, water of life that frees my soul from ill. 368. The cup can never cheer us as it should, without her presence who inspires our mood. Yet give the cup though it should give naught else, for this blue bowl above gives naught of good. 369. The face thou lovest may be deeply scarred, yet in thine eyes its beauty not be marred. So in its face shines forth the naked soul. Though flowers be fair, the green sward claims regard. 370. By drops of blood my heart's best thoughts are born. Who drinks of blood his eyes in blood shall mourn. Now if mine eyes drop blood you deem it strange. Ye pluck the sweetest rose from sharpest thorn. 371. No heart so cold but breath of warm desire may fan the spark that slumbers there to fire. And great and small alike, and now's the time. Who waits the morrow lights love's funeral pyre? 372. 'Twas not my will that drove the reed of fate to write of good or ill for my estate. Nor yesterday was mine, nor ours today. Why then should evil on the morrow wait? 373. Mine enemy who evil thinks of me, nor truth nor wisdom taught his eyes to see. As in a mirror shown his evil self, he deems another and his foe to be. 374. Though in the change of time old things be new, still the old world to its desires true. So from the wine jar drink, nor taste the cup of grief, that though you break it, grows anew. 375. Good men to evil may not set the hand, nor godlike natures bear the reptile brand. Yet none his record greatly should esteem, lest honor should not every test withstand. 376. Thy musky tresses wave in sport, 'tis life or death to me. Thy blushing cheek reflects the rose that in thy lip I see. I fain would match thy form for grace against the cypress fair. The cypress sudden haste to grow, it could not vie with thee. 377. Ere yet the grave to which I pass be filled, ere all the grain be from my platter spilled, wine of the beaker raise thy head awhile, and cheer my heart ere it in death be stilled. 378. 'Tis done, and the days of our passion are o'er, and the pearls that we threaded can tempt us no more. Woe for many a thousand wise sayings unsaid. Oh, 'tis pity that fools may record them no more. 379. Some who by garb of tattered blanket shown stretch out the hand for bread and blushing own themselves to be Junaid and Shibli sure. Shibli they are not, though in Karki known. 380. Though wine hold revel on the mountain's brow, no high thoughts urge who drinks not wine enow. What profits me though I should wine forswear, and lack the fire that flames within me now? 381. My friends, they all have passed away, struck down by fate in turn, and where are they? In life's assembly each a full cup drank, ere mine was finished who am here today. 381. Yea, I will drink until my soul be wine, though the world profit not that I divine. So of the world may not I joy therein, who knows that any other shall be mine? 383. The world of night hath fled before the dawn. Arise and pour, thy magic touch may laugh all ill to scorn. Awake and part thine eyelids held fast by dreams of love. Full long and deep thy sleep may be, ere comes another morn. 384. The fond allurements in thy glance are naught but comedy. Though man be smitten sore thereby, 'tis but a jest to thee. To slay me though it please thee, take mine eyebrow for a sword. A simple scourge, if in thine hand, were sure enough for me. 385. They say man's port should reverence command, yet man a child before his God must kiss the Father's hand. My case is this, all things to me are naught, yet I lack gold, and yet both truths shall stand. 386. Rejoice because this world shall pass away. No more the soul be vexed with senseless bray of phantoms that we see but for a while. Still neath the potter's foot we join the clay. 387. Now I reject repentance and the dress the dervish wears. The wineskin I will press. In my grey hairs my 80 years and 10. Warn me, joy now or never to possess. 388. Who welcomes thirst knows the cup but in speech. Who dallies by the way the goal may never reach. So the cold heart that, without love's content, though for eternity, no heart to love may teach. 389. What other work can cruelty declare than feeds the hate the rolling heavens bear? Many with me, so give a cup of wine. Had I not else, far more than all were there. 390. When my life's tree a trunk uprooted lies, and scattered wide the limbs that now I prize, take ye and make a wine flask of my clay. Fill it with wine, and I again will rise. 391. The fools who on a form of prayer depend, hypocrisy's dead weight their backs will bend, for each new doctrine that may meet the eye. They barter Islam, heresy to mend. 392. Ye may rejoice that all shall pass away, the clay that live return again to clay. And if ye drink, drink wine nor taste of grief, for sure they grieve who here on earth must stay. 393. This cup the past eternal doth reveal, nor from the wretched doth its worth conceal. Is it then strange that I mine evil state should know, and does the drunkard nothing feel? 394. Beware of passions gross, desires vain, nor drink of wine with sorrow in its train, that o'er the morning spreads appall shame, for chances lost that never come again. 395. What voice of all with which the heavens are rife bids thee with fate to wage unequal strife, to gain thy heart's desire and lose thy soul? We leave, and we are left, what else is life? 396. Who holds good store of wine the kingdom hath, greater than Jamshid's, for the wine flask's breath, sweeter than food of Miriam's smells or sigh, the tavern breeds at morn, or saints in death. 397. The heavens of naught but grief and increase bring. If they grant aught, they take some dearer thing. Did those who on the threshold wait but know what fate is ours, they ne'er would touch the ring. 398. What cure hast thou for what thy fate may be? That life and heart strive only this to see. I take what comes as if all life were fair, and what can craft or guile do more for thee? 399. Draw forth thy fortune from the turning tide, and cup in hand the steed of joy bestride. Of duty done or sin God weigheth not. Work thou thy will, and care not what betide. 400. 'Tis morn, up sinner, for the sun doth shine. Fill high the crystal cup with rosy wine. Life is but lengthy, and full soon must pass. Seek if thou wilt, no other way is thine. End of section 4. Recording by Arden. Section 5 of the Rubaiyat of Omar Khayyam. Translated by E.A. Johnson. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Recording by Arden. Section 5. Quatrains 401 to 500. 401. Though wine be ruby red and flagon rare, and friends around thee sit, and women fair, ye know what now is life shall soon be clay, a wind that passeth, yet the wine is there. 402. Times thou hast spent with some dear friend or guest are but fair visions of the past at best. Cometh the end, and thou this life must leave. Its sweets are tasted all, so leave the rest. 403. I'd even own a pagan creed, if I might worship thee. The drops that linger in the cup are wine enough for me, and therefore though aught else I drink, life gaineth not thereby. One drink with thee, one taste of thee, 1,000 lives would be. 404. O wheel of fate, hast thou nor faith nor skill? Thou leavest death unwatched to work his will. Thou givest to the vile all store of wealth. 'Twere best to change thy name to Providence of ill. 405. A cup of wine beside a friend were sweet, or be he sad, a tearful eye were meet. But in this world so base, devoid of hope and truth, oblivion though born of wine, we all too gladly greet. 406. The ball rolls on, heavy and dull and blind. Drink and make merry when the chance ye find. And when thy turn is come, make no complaint. Death is a cup that all must drink, however fate be kind. 407. since no man while the world rolls on may gain aught from his life therein save grief and pain. My heart were glad if no man lived at all, for none a mother's travail were in vain. 408. Delay no longer cast all rules of life aside, and bring the true support of man that props the world so wide. Shed blood of grape, but never lay thy hand on wealth of man, and give the morsel in thine hand, though thou hast naught beside. 409. In the bazaar I walked but yesterday, and saw a potter beating out his clay, and as I passed the clay cried out to him, Softly, for I was once that which thou art today. 410. There be weak souls who have no sense at all, who strive to set the bounds of great and small. A phantom they pursue till judgment day, nor free themselves from dust and clay at all. 411. Hold fast what pleaseth thee of this world's deeds, or what eternity may bring thy needs. And if thine own work should not please thee well, and that of others should, hold what succeeds. 412. Dost seek the self, from wife and child be free. Cut loose each tie that binds aught else to thee. Each several thing that is must bar thy road. How can the traveller bound successful be? 413. Take boldly when thou canst thy heart's desire. From youth to age keep thou thy share entire. All that of wealth or fortune is thy lot, hold firmly till thou leave it in the mire. 414. If drink thou must, drink only with the wise, or let the board be graced by beauty's eyes, and drink not deep or long, lest ill befall, for often drink a hidden danger lies. 415. The treasures of the world are all displayed, and gold and jewels see the dust arrayed. Take them and sit ye on the ground awhile, as snow that falls at dawn your wealth shall fade. 416. Come, O my soul, and drink where blooms the rose. We'll pledge the loves with whom we drowned our woes. 'Tis the grape's life-blood, and it calls to thee. Life's blood I've shed for thee. Drink ere life goes. 417. Though o'er thy head 1,000 years have passed, they'll drive thee from thy resting place at last. And be thou king or beggar as may be, they'll fix one price for all and keep it fast. 418. O heart, take all that life may give to thee. Dressed in green sward, life's garden waits for thee, and on that sward is due to rest awhile, and vanish as the dew life grants to thee. 419. Grieve not that this life cometh not again, nor grieve that thou therein must suffer pain. That which is past is not, and that which is not yet, we know not, therefore surely grief is vain. 420. And hast thou any knowledge of the law? None would deny that there be in it flaw. So say they of the work and maker too, if thou art pure, that is, from Satan's maw. 421. Pearls of devotion strung in order due, I never gave, yet held the balance true. Nor fear I now to seek the throne of grace, for the one God I ne'er mistook for two. 422. Who has returned of all who went before, on this long road to tell its secret lore? 2 roads there be, of vain desire and prayer. No voice of prayer have I, there may be more. 423. Shake the dust from thy feet in face of heaven. Drink, but thy pleasure with discretion leaven. Would not one soul who went before returns? Is this a place for prayer or sinner shriven? 424. Mahmuds and Eons, though the turning wheel by thousands slays, it still doth not reveal. Drink then with me, for never life shall come again to me or thee, for woe or weal. 425. If I my secret in the desert tell, bid me not turn to the mihrab as well. O first and last of all created things, 'tis thine to burn or bless, in heaven or hell. 426. Hid in the void was I, and thou bidst me arise, for the world's mad strife may hold full many a prize. Now at thy word I am, and I am distraught. Hold thou the wine jar straight, I cannot trust mine eyes. 427. From Shadowland my falcon spirit flew, to rest in thee and my soul's health renew. But I found no man who life's secret knows, so by the door I entered I go forth anew. 428. O heart of mine that knoweth all a dream, Why grieve for ills that are not what they seem? Bend to the blast and trust thy soul to fate. What pen has writ may no man's prayer redeem. 429. Wake, for 'tis morn, and thou must lead the throng in varied harmonies of wine and song. Those who pass on may never turn again. Those who would linger may not tarry long. 430. By day and night the strife rolls on for all. Leaning on Providence we rise and fall. Nor ever gain save by another's loss. Nor leave we aught behind, save as the miles we call. 431. Arise, wise man, and bid yon child beware, who sifts the dust in play so free from care. Warn him that in the way so light esteemed, Cacobod's brains and Parvis's eye have not despair. 432. Lost in the flood of my desire for thee, by love and wine I would my soul set free. When free from self within the self I stand, to purest souls the preacher I would be. 433. Behold me once again a rake proclaimed, for I omit the takbir unashamed. When the 5 prayers are said, but pass the cup, I crane my neck to it, my vice untamed. 434. Were there no need of food or sleep for thee? Not now fourfold were thy necessity. All these may give, each taketh back again. Bare as at first thou wert, again shalt be. 435. My love, whose long and happy life I pray may last my sorrow, smiled on thee today. On me she cast a glance and passed me by. Good deeds on waters cast return to stay. 436. Still by the mists the rose's face is veiled. Still is my soul by lust of wine assailed. O sleep not yet, for sleep there's times and now. Rejoice, my soul, the sunlight hath not failed. 437. Cling to the pure of race and pure in heart, and from unworthy souls keep far apart. Better accept the poison from the wise, than sweetest thing from one not as thou art. 438. O thou who bidst the moon wake souls to love, by soft rays shed through perfumed jasmine grove, why bid the wakened soul to close the eye, or wear a mask lest love thy word approve? 439. By nature's laws no man may disobey, an order given then to turn away, a counter order till the hapless wight must wear the mask twixt doubt of yea and nay. 440. Fate is the player, we but pieces played, for deadly earnest on the board arrayed. Each fills his destined part awhile, and each in turn to rest in nothingness is laid. 441. Woe for the fate of him who led the war, that his deserts were ruled by such a star, for that his heart was hard as withered bone, his by the wild boar's tusk are scattered far. 442. None from behind the veil has come again to tell the secret that we sought in vain. The gain shall be by gift and not by prayer. What chance for truth when prayer controls the main? 443. In my sore need the wine-jar's lip I sought, that I might learn how length of days is bought, and thus it poured the secret to my soul. Once I was flesh, drink from me, life is not. 444. O thou exalted over all the great, say when doth wine exalt the soul's estate? Why Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday too, both night and day, and other 3 days wait. 445. Wouldst know whence comes the light that dimly burns? 'Twere long to tell, though man the truth discerns. 'Tis but a breath that risen from the sea, lingers a while, and to the deep returns. 446. O thou who know'st the secret thought of all, whose hand in time of need sustaineth all, O God, repentance grant, and my excuse accept, who dost accept excuse from all. 447. What power it was first spun the golden bowl, then bade such order in such ruin roll, no man may know, nor lore by touchstone prove, nor balance weigh, nor compass mark the scroll. 448. Ask me no question of the time to be, nor that to come, a phantom that shall flee. Behold, this hour is a boon to thee. Regret not hours past, nor future crave to see. 449. O wheel ill-omened, turning but for ill, that ne'er did any heart's desire fulfill, revolving heaven whose daily task is still to barter small for great, and ignorance for skill. 450. A raven gazed upon the ruined street, the dead king's skull that rolled beneath his feet. And to the skull he said, Alas, poor king, thy cymbals sound no more, thy drums no longer beat. 451. Khayyam, dost worship wine? 'Tis joy to thee, even what beauty such may lawful be. Since after all this world must end in naught, let joy deny that life must joyless be. 452. How long must I mine ignorance confess to thee who raised my soul from its distress? I gird me with the Magian's threadless shame, for Islam's shame through me my soul possess. 453. This cup whose beauteous form proved its creator's worth, till in return he loved the thing he brought to birth. This world the cup the eternal potter made, and loved his hand hath dashed again to earth. 454. Come this or that, or come not, 'tis the best. No doubt should vex thy soul, or break thy rest. Take of this weary world what gain thou canst, ere falls the axe of time on time's own crest. 455. Let good wine's cheerful face bring light to thee. Let thy friends help ward thy foes' spite from thee. Calm in thy mind withdraw from sense of self, till pride and self alike depart from thee. 456. Leave thine own nature and the love of life. Cut thyself loose as warrior for the strife. With such as union with the self have gained, drink and be free from all the cares of life. 457. Ah, seek not solace from another's pain. Conquer thine own, it shall not be in vain. In solitude thy refuge shall be found. There if thou seek, the self shalt find again. 458. Though wine be unlawful, I drink it still. With song and with lute will I take my fill. If the cup give me red wine, why then I will drink it all, nor one drop I'll spill. 459. Last night as I passed by the tavern door, I saw an old man who a wine jar bore. I said, Old man, hast thou no fear of God? Said he, From God is mercy, drink and say no more. 460. The days of youth are passed away, the steeds we rode are sped. The pomp and lust of life are gone, the loves we loved are dead. The bow that sped the shaft is broke, the shaft bent as the bow. The bread of life is steeped in gall, its wine the tears we shed. 461. That wine which Khazir of good fortune guards, water of life, and I Elias to words. I deem it food for heart and mind as well, since God its name a boon to man awards. 462. Desire drew me forth to pleasant deeds, says he, my presence sure, thy parting speeds. So was my heart inflamed with woe for him. Fuel was fire found, fire served fuel's needs. 463. O wheel refrain, nor draw me down to thee, who seekest after lust, now am I far from thee. Thou in the depths, desire and emptiness, would surely weary me of life in thee. 464. A little grief for effort come to naught. Sorrow is still the meed of sober thought. So take what joy thou canst, nor hug the chain. Grief brings nor more, nor less than fate has brought. 465. And thou wilt listen to advice from me. For God's sake cast pretense away from thee. The doom of sin's forever, life's a breath. Eternal pain a poor exchange would be. 466. My good deeds one by one I bring, my sins come 10 by 10. Thou pardonest in pity for the frailties of men. Let not fresh sins, I pray thee, kindle thy wrath to flame. The prophet's dust shall plead for me, forgive me once again. 467. Last night I halted by the potter's stall, 1,000 pots were there in silent awe, till with one voice all cried aloud, Behold, the potter, seller, buyer, each and all. 468. In vain pretense of happiness I sup, an unboiled pot as I would drink it up. Potter, if of my clay a cup be made, none save a wine seller shall buy that cup. 469. Drink of the wine that life immortal brings, whence all our youth may know a pleasure springs. Though it should burn as fire, its spirit still gives living water to all earthly things. 470. In sooth, good wine's a spirit in the bowl, freed from the flask which thus pours forth a soul. No dullard should companion be of mine, but wit of wine and cup may head the roll. 471. For long I dared look all men in the face, but who may bear fate's undeserved disgrace? Drink from the wine jar, drink with lute and song, ere yet the jar of life fall from its place. 472. The morn is come, the skirt of night is rent, Arise and take the joy that heaven has sent. Drink while ye may, for many a day shall dawn, and seek for us whose dust in earth is blent. 473. Though now of pure and stainless life we tell, though but a while on earth as guests we dwell, yet wine may soothe the sorrow of the morn, ere come the evening and the last farewell. 474. Vesture of life that every night is torn, afresh by fate and mended ere the morn. Sorrow and joy the hours bring in turn, drawn from the wave, earth grants a grave forlorn. 475. If heaven has no peace for me, why, war will serve. And if there be no fame for me, why, shame will serve. Bring me a draught of wine, red wine, let scorners wear. Who drinks not may his head the stone deserve. 476. O wheel that hast the pledge of salt forgot, stripped bare to be is my unhappy lot. The distaff serves at least to clothe a pair, the distaff sure the greater worth has got. 477. How long beneath the unrelenting wheel we pray for respite from its fiery zeal? Though burned and seared the soul, yet once again each moment doth fresh miseries reveal. 478. Hast thou no fear of fires that burn for aye? Will not repentance wash thy sins away? When winds of fate have quenched thy lamp of life, earth may be shame thy dust in earth to lay. 479. A little while we bear this world's distress, a little while we pass in joyfulness, a little while we sit upon the grass. Drink then, while ye the wine cup still possess. 480. Free from the trammels of desire vain, contentment by the cup we still may gain. In solitude or with the cup to cheer, all that we here may learn may man attain. 481. No man is wise who has not learnt to know that all we see is but a phantom show. Rest and rejoice and drink while yet ye may, and banish vain illusions ere ye go. 482. The breezes kiss the tress ye seek in vain, and hard it is to curb the steed of pain. Men say you cannot see with seeing eyes. If they be mine, I seek their sight in vain. 483. Drink, for nor deeds nor wisdom may deserve, naught save almighty grace for thee may serve. Ye sinners who like asses drink of wine, more than all cattle shall your vision swerve. 484. While maids be fair as fairest flower that in the garden blows, loose not thy hold upon the cup, as bud to blossom grows. Ere yet the blast of fate upon thy joy blow cold, the leaves of life to scatter as the petals of the rose. 485. Still drones the tale, eternity and fate, but little recks my soul of soon or late. Drink, for the gift of wine naught else may share, or loose the knot of troubles small and great. 486. I'll hear the wine jar's softly murmured tale, sweet song of linnet and of nightingale. Were song forbid, the wine jar's voice were dumb. Wine without song for joy would not avail. 487. From lowest deep of earth to highest heaven, I solved each riddle that the spheres are given. I cast aside the net of craft and fraud, but still the knot of fate remained unriven. 488. Neither by bribe of wealth nor fond request the secrets of the truth are manifest. When 50 years of life in toil are spent, in union with the truth thy soul may rest. 489. List not, O soul, to tales of craft and fraud. True wisdom lies in wine, and faith is broad. If peace of mind be food unto the soul, 'tis found in wine and on the verdant sward. 490. No man has known unending space or time, nor any man returned from that far clime. Beyond the grave, through hope and fear we pass, to gain a name and mark the hour's chime. 491. How long shall I for others' sins be shamed, for hopes all unfulfilled by time be blamed? Yet I rejoice that evil days will pass, and rosy wine once more in cup be framed. 492. If the Almighty will not my desire, then evil is my scheme of life entire. In aught he has not willed should virtue lie, then all I hope for sure must wake his ire. 493. He the Creator lit the flame, though Lord of mercy still made the rebel sinner hope submissive to his will. Today thy deeds are foul and dark, today thy guilt is clear. Tomorrow shall his mercy dry bones with life fulfill. 494. Though guilt of mine the face of earth should brand, yet will I trust in that sustaining hand, where promise given for hour of need alone, what need so great as this, in which I stand? 495. Though I life's tender leaf should rend in twain, the laughing wine should cloud with tears again, arise and pass the cup, for it may be I break instead this sad world's galling chain. 496. Far on thy track the steed of joy I drove, nor sought for self-reward in rest and love. But now what may I do to reach the gate, I who for house of pain have lost my place above? 497. Lord, thou didst mold my clay, what share had I? Silk or wool clothe me, Lord, what choice had I? And all I ever did of good or ill, who wrote it on my forehead, 'twas not I. 498. I may not ever quench desire's flame, my sinful flesh and sins I weep in vain. Thou wilt have mercy, that indeed I know. My soul lies bare, where is my share of blame? 499. Thy soul and mine are as a compass found, one body serves two heads to circle round, yet in the end must ever needs agree, to meet where fate has set the circle's bound. 500. In this revolving sky, beneath whose sway we wander dazzled in the light of day, the sun its lamp, the world its guarding shade, we, moving shadows of the lantern's play. End of section 5. Recording by Arden.
Section 6 of the Rubaiyat of Omar Khayyam, translated by E.A. Johnson. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Recording by Rick Vina. Section 6, Quatrains 501 through 600. Doth this vile world the bond of friendship know, where truth and trust alike are empty show? 'Twere best to draw the skirt aside, and pass fair speech and salutation as we go. They say, the wine I worship, that am I, and this I know, for drunk with wine am I. Yet look not only on the outward form, for after all, that which I am I. The door of love I closed in my despair, upon myself and all men's burden bear, both good and evil, yet whate'er my state, he who can save of all is well aware. And dost thou deem that of myself I came? That by my will I tread this path of flame? Nay, when the truth was born, I sprang from him, or else where was that self, if I, yet not the same? Never since first I saw the light did I from wine abstain, nor on this night of power will I from joy refrain. Lip to the wine jar's lip I'll press, and breast to breast of clay, and every day around her neck I'll fling my arms again. Lightly, I cried, red wine no more I'll drink. 'Tis the grape's blood, from bloodshed I must shrink. The sage replied, thou speakest as a slave. I said, I did but jest, again I'll drink. Was man the purpose of creation's scheme, the jewel marking wisdom by its beam, the circling world creation's signet ring, and we the perfect stamp imprinted seem? Where all united, firm in purpose stand, we fear not grief, for joy we may command. And softer blows the morning breeze, because when we are gone, full many a breeze of morn shall blow to wake the sleeping land. For love of thee 1,000 ills I bear, and if I fail, I'll pay thee double share, though all my life it take to pay in full, or till the judgment day the end declare. Till sorrow's hand the cup to me present, water may ne'er my thirsty soul content. Yet since I may not trust my fellow man, in bitter sorrow all my days are spent. Now is my trust in wine without avail, my balm is poison, and my cure doth fail. Grief's the world's bane, but wine should ease the smart. Who knows the cure, him should no doubts assail. With care the queen I moved, but soon in shame my knight that was a sorry pawn became. Of king and castle, though I weary now, my bishop conquers all and wins the game. Still shall my nature turn to genial wine, to sound of lute and harp my soul incline. If of my clay the potter make a jar, 'twill hold good liquor still to prove 'tis mine. Wheel that in turning only sorrow brings, set free a soul deserving better things, and if thy grace to fools alone incline, of such am I, of me no singer sings. First of the band of vagabonds am I, fallen by disobedience from on high, whose days and nights in wine and wassail pass, may stand my sponsor, and may grieve as I. I cannot live without the wine I love, so should my life too sore a burden prove, my yearning senses long to hear the call, drink yet one more, nor feel desire to move. This world's a phantom show, then why should I in aught save wine and joy delight the eye? They bid me seek repentance of the Lord, but I'd refuse if he should not deny. The outward form of all things well I know, of that which is and is not, high and low. Yet all this knowledge would I freely give, a greater joy that springs from wine to know. No more we'll grieve in this old spinning ball, save rosy wine we'll drink no more at all. Wine's the world's blood, the world our murderer. Shall we not drink his blood, who murders all? We, fancy led through gardens of delight, from lowest depths have scaled the heaven's height. But when our earth-stained robe is cast aside, we who were dust at dawn are dust again at night. O thou who judgest men, my judgment still more just than thine, though wine my veins may fill. Thou sheddest man's blood, I blood of grape alone. Be just and own, which of us two doth ill? One hand upon the word, and on the cup one hand, now pure and now corrupt, behold me stand. The azure heavens behold a dual form, not holy saint, nor yet the sinner's brand. I drink, yet am no drunkard, though of wine my soul approve, yet never hand of mine shall stretch too far, and thus, idolater, I 'scape their sin who deem themselves divine. I sought the cup of Yamshid, I wandered far and near, nor rest by day nor sleep by night, but ne'er did aught appear. I bade the teacher tell the sign, that I the cup might know. He spake, the cup is all the world, and Yamshid, thou art here. Pity it is we linger here in pain. Our youth, a world disjointed, turns again. Yet, though all gifts were mine this world could give, and my desire were not, 'twere all in vain. The pilgrim's robe, the wine jar's gift divine, the tavern's dust shall seal my sin with wine. Perchance within the tavern I may find that which I lost, and it again be mine. Within the mosque I bow in reverence, yet of my prayers I hardly make pretense. Though once indeed a prayer carpet I stole, when that is worn, I'll take another thence. And if in Ramadan I fasted not, I never sinned because I had forgot. But when through weariness my day was night, I thought the Sar was come, though it was not. I see the world decked out in garish hues, no ordered plan of gifts to win or lose, and by the Lord, even within the cup my own defects reflected, nothing lose. The lists of life, that by the will of God I entered, 'neath men's feet to be downtrod, naught is as I would have it, would 'twere done, and I passed on to sleep beneath the sod. How should I sell life's crown and seal for naught? Can choicest wares for empty sounds be bought? And yet the beads that mark my steps to grace, just for a draught I'd give without a thought. Since no secure abiding place I find, why should I, truckling to a fate unkind, abandon pleasure? What to me, if time be past or present, when 'tis left behind? Pure from the void I came, but sin's dark stain burns in my soul, though fall my tears in vain. I flung my fortune to the winds, and now my sins and sorrows seek the dust again. Beneath the feet of destiny we're cast, so void of hope, the days move slowly past. They will not make a goblet of my clay, lest, filled with wine, I live again at last. Because my love is scorned, I dwell in pain. Each dreaded morn still rends my heart in twain. This fleeting life, my one and orphan pearl, all sense of freedom lost, while grief and dread remain. Though as a flame of fire I cross the sky, though crystal stream no purer be than I, yet naught save wine this phantom world may give, for I who sprang from earth, in earth must lie. Lord, though my sins are legion, yet in truth I sinned against myself, my life, my youth. And since I trusted fully in thy grace, after repentance sinned again forsooth. So long as wine unlawful be for man, the gate of mercy hath the wider span. Wouldst know the reason I delight in wine? It sets me free from self, my only plan. A little while the teacher's yoke we know, a little while the thoughts unfettered flow, and yet the riddle's answer all may read. Ye came from earth, and to the winds ye go. If fate for us no present sorrow bear, let us together drink to drown dull care, lest the dark messenger who calls us home time for a parting draught too brief declare. Come, let us weep the morrow while we may, and count as gain this life that lasts a day. Tomorrow? Why, tomorrow we may see this aged world 7,000 years away. Well may we wake the night and slumber not, for many a dawn shall break, our lives forgot. So on the neck of grief, with foot of joy, we stand to greet the dawn, and tremble not. Though wine be bitter, better so than none. Fast days and time of prayer to me are one. The grape for me is best within the jar. Lord, let it not be spoilt till I have done. As ever, now the wilderness I seek, where dwell the calendars whose rule I keep. O Thou, from whom no secrets may be hid, grant me thy grace when I election seek. Wine sweeps away the web that clouds the brain. By wine the firmest bonds are rent in twain. Had Ebli drunk one drop, had bowed the knee to Adam, and 2,000 times again. Now by no grain of sorrow are we vexed. Food for the hour we have, who cares whence come the next? So love shall fashion fair full moons for me. By vain desires ne'er am I perplexed. My case is laid before the courts of love. Love's light, enough to melt my soul, doth prove. There, when with wine of love I'm purified, my love's fair face my plaint shall just approve. The circling heaven no face save evil wears. I hate the nature base my life declares. No lore have I to combat earthly ills, nor wit to set me free from earthly snares. How long lie we in bondage to a wisdom vain? What though 100 years or one day we remain? So bring the wine jar, ere we find ourselves ranged in the potter's shop, clay once again. How long wilt thou protest, O fledgling priest, against mine evil choice of wine and feast? Tell thou thy beads, and show thy piety. Music and mistress I prefer at least. Beyond our ken, beneath the sward they lie, the vanished pilgrims of a day gone by, and outer space is pregnant with the shades of those passed on and those who come to die. I fear lest, when I reach the world again, I may not meet with kindred souls again. Today I dwell with good, and fortune deem, yet never may these moments come again. For I am one for ever drunk with wine. I set no store save by the cup divine. O young disciple, pass my counsel by, for wine and women's lips be loves of mine. Thy mercy doth from guilt my soul assure. By thee provided, I'll the road endure, till, for thy favor's loss, my cheek grow pale. The blackest record of my sins is pure. The feast is come, so drain a cup with me, with plaint of viol and lute's melody, while cheer of comradeship the spirits raise, lest weight of wine so rare oppressive be. Come, friend, nor heed what fate the morrow bring. This present hour's the only certain thing. Never was sin of mine but well was known, long ere I sinned, so why the changes ring? Deem not I dread the world, though life be drear, or fear my life to lose, though life be dear. I fear not death, for death at least is true. To live in shame, 'tis that alone I fear. Though drunken now with magic wine I be, though pagan and idolater be names to me, though every creed and every tongue speak ill, I spring from self, and that I am must be. Come, and with all who vainly strive, we'll open war proclaim. Drink deep, that so our honor we bring to open shame. Drink, and be sure you drink in every place of ill repute, and break in pieces small the crystal flask of our good name. We'll rend the garment of the faithless friend. Drink that his name to lie in mire we send. I'll sell religion for a cup of wine. I'd sell my name for wine, and make an end. Is it unlawful I should whisper thee what man's endowment from his birth must be? With pain o'erburdened, lapped in sorrow's clay, he tastes of earth, but naught of joy may see. We ne'er forget to make the wine vault ring. With joyful shout we pass the cup and sing. Turban and Koran will we sell for wine, but the school door we pass, nor touch a thing. Joseph of Egypt am I, said the rose. Rich ruby set with gold my beauty shows. Said I, and art thou Joseph? Give a sign. Said she, my blood-stained robe each lover knows. And if I seek to grasp thy tresses fair, in truth I would not shrink if thou wert there. For in thy splendor justified I see the fond heart's love my voiceless hands declare. When I would die to self, more life have I. Would I exalt myself, lower sink I. And stranger yet, that from the wine of life, the more I gather wit, more drunk am I. The morning dawns, and now shall wine and lute shatter the goblet of my fair repute. Hopes and desires I relinquish now, but raven tresses, wine and song will suit. 'Twere better for a while to banish care, for what has been, or yet may be, to bear. To free the soul our Master lends us here from bonds of sense and prison of despair. One day that down the Potter's Street I passed, myself among the pots set out I classed, and thought, before my clay's brought here to work, from some one else's clay I'll drink my last. A moment's being snatched from jealous fate, a leaf that falls too early or too late, I'll sift the world to find my pleasure here, ere those who'll sift my clay are at the gate. O days when bound by fate I strive in vain! O life whose breath was ever drawn with pain! The school of time where oft in grief I sat, yet never saw the circle's lesson plain. Can souls ensnared still hover round the net, or love anew where old love lingers yet? How shall my tears a moment cease to flow, till in some other's frame mine eyes be set? The sigh forbidden ears may never hear, the breath we draw beside a comrade dear, were such of mine for any save for thee, I well might die, nor face the future drear. Ne'er shall my pearl of price be sold for naught, nor all I suffer for thee may be bought. A grave beside thee Yamshid's realm outweighs, a hair of thine transcends the realms of thought. Now roses are in bloom, what choice is mine, though deed of mine break not the law divine? And though I meet fair sinners on the meads, and passion master sense, need I repine? Philosopher, I'm branded by my foes, yet do they lie in this, as God He knows. To this abode of sorrows though I came, none knoweth less than I, who I disclose. O world of woe, of secrets probed in vain! O riddle vast, whose sense none maketh plain! We hear soul cry to soul behind the veil, we raise the veil, nor voice nor souls remain. Man's soul the world, and the world naught but clay, while man's desires heavenly forms array. The laboring womb the universe proclaims, God's unity is here, all else is fancy's play. That ancient rolling sphere whose sole employ is still to waste the garden of my joy, blind justice leads the blinder fool to sin, nor warns him lest the act his hope destroy. O wheel of fate, whose doom in vain I flee, who makest my pain another's remedy, how oft in peace have I been true to thee, how oft in war hast thou been false to me? Arise, nor vainly grieve that worlds should roll, let present happiness content thy soul. Did fortune in the world too faithful prove, would chances come where others pay the toll. Though I would bear an all unsullied name, to curse the world's malevolence were shame. Better to seek oblivion from the grape, than claim acquittal through atonement tame. Have mercy on a heart oppressed with woe, on life and soul imprisoned here below. pardon the feet that wandered from the road, the hands that all too well the wine-cup know. 'Twere ill to cloud with sorrow hours of joy, or happiness with load of grief destroy. But we who know not what the morrow brings, with wine and woman may the time employ. No follower have I in life's debate, my own complaint alone is my estate. And since mine eyes are ever tearful found, my grief's the only tale I may relate. My heart so sorrowful and racked with pain, with love is filled, and yet its woes remain. Surely the day the wine of love was poured, my cup was filled with gall once and again. By creed and doctrine these are sore distressed, 'twixt doubt and certainty their souls oppressed. But sudden from the shades a voice proclaims, O fools, by neither road shall ye find rest. O ye who day and night this world behold, nor reck of what the last day shall unfold, bethink ye of your end, and to yourselves apply the moral others' fate has told. They bid me from the cup I love refrain, they ask the plea, on which I drink again. I say, thy beauty is my fair excuse, my morning draught, and thus my reasons plain. Would it were given me to rule on high, I'd sweep the old God's law from out the sky, and set the stars anew, so might I gain my heart's desire ere yet the time goes by. Hear and take heed, O first and oldest friend, reck not of what the unstable skies portend, but wait the judgment day, and sit secure, watching the wheel whose changes ne'er shall end. Feel ye no shame for ruin ye have wrought, for things forbidden done, for shrines unsought? Though all the world were yours to take or leave, what could ye choose but leave it, bearing naught? Thou who didst come to earth a king to reign, to change corruption into light again, an evil yesterday, no morn to come, should warn thee that today must be in vain. Must fortune ever bow the neck to thee? 'Tis thine to cherish that is given thee, to deem the life thou hast a gift from God, to drink life's wine and let grief pass from thee. Mine eyes behold the cup with life fulfilled, as oil with smoothness, when my being thrilled with joy thereat. Where was the fault to find? Water with fire pregnant thou hast willed. List not to those of days to come who tell, drink the full draught of full achievements well. Yet those who mark thy deeds in turn must pass, or come again to speak of what befell. Parwin the bull keeps guard on heaven's gates, and one beneath the earth in ambush waits. Yet may the eyes of wisdom both control, nor drive the ass of lust between such mates. To live as would compel us wisdom true, we know is right, yet know not how to do, till time, the teacher, comes with scourge in hand, unlearned heads with knowledge to imbue. Last night in spirit and in purity I sought the tavern, joy's increase to see. He brought the cup, and bade me take and drink, and when I would not, whispered, "'Tis for me." O thou who dost creation's end fulfill, behold this seething mass of good and ill. The cup-bearer has still a cup in hand, so take, and thus escape both worlds' ill will. Since in this world of sorrow man may gain naught save distress, nor may from it refrain, happy is he who early passed away, and blessed is he who never knew its pain. End of section 6. Section 7 of the Rubaiyat of Omar Khayyam. Translated by E.A. Johnson. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Recording by Rick Vina. Section 7. Quatrains 601 through 700. This world that ever turns but never rests, two orders of mankind with service vests. One knoweth all therein, both good and ill, the other naught of self, and less of worldly guests. All souls are turned to water, and shed our heart's best blood. How should we see the naked truth, without the veil who stood? Thou by whose deed is wisdom turned away from us and lost, the world in thee, and by thee reft of all that made for good. With wine and women fair our days we spend, could sanctity provide so fair an end? Why, if they gave the sinners wine in hell, no thought of heaven would give them grace to mend. If never to my soul repentance came, 'tis that my drinking is nor sin nor shame. The quibbler finds it is unlawful, true, but if the honest drink, am I to blame? Still must I grieve that this old shrine of fate has wrought me service neither small nor great. Ere yet I strip the garment from the shell, warm me with wine in pity for my state. Speak not of tooth and claw thou huntedst not, tell not the tale of that thou knowest not. When sages bid thee tell them of the truth, weep, but of that thine eyes have seen, tell not. O grant the world may gently with me deal, and mine ill deeds from fellow men conceal. Bid me enjoy to-day, and let the morn that which thy mercy meteth out reveal. O Lord, from self-esteem deliver me. Teach me to strive with self, and set me free. My waking senses good from evil know, but let me sleep while thou redeemest me. Fail not to take the chance that sets thee free from yoke and chain this old world binds on thee. The hour shall come but once, and ne'er return, so tarry not by words assured to be. now by the sky whose tortoise dome a tyrant world upholds, the rolling age that all things vile still shadows and enfolds. Mine eyes' salt tears bedew my cheek as were a cup fulfilled, so my full heart within my breast its sanguine vintage holds. I saw the outcast who the waste did rove, one without world or creed or hope in heaven above, nor God, nor truth, nor law, nor certainty. To whom should such as this shine as the star of love? While yet thou canst beside the sinner stand, destroy the plague that doth corrupt the land. Omar Khayyam's advice is still the same, drink wine or rob, but rob with gentle hand. He who hath knowledge of this world's estate, sorrow and joy with even mind may wait, for when 'tis past and gone for good or ill, all pain or gain alike would come too late. Dwell not on days that now are gone from thee, nor dread the morrow thou mayst never see. Thy comings and thy goings all forget. Be merry now, nor waste the hours that flee. Now tells the nightingale her thousand tales. If to give aught save wine the reveller fails, we rise to hear the rose's cup declare, the garden granteth joy, naught else avails. The cup of life shall hold thee of good will, thy soul, the soul of life, with life shall fill. As fire in water shining we may see, the ruby in the casket, ruby still. And when the holy dead from earth shall rise, and in the body ride the thronging skies, let not the stain of blood be mine to wear, 'twere ill to rise beside thee in such guise. Behold the ill this rolling sphere hath wrought, search the round world for friendship, there is naught. Do thou suffice thyself while yet thou canst, tomorrow shall thy need have passed, nor yesterday be sought. What shall my coming or my going gain? Or what shall fire my life's high hope again? The world spins on, while souls are burnt with fire, nor even may that burning's smoke remain. O love, I pray thee, take the cup and jar, and seek the brookside where fair meadows are, for many a form that men have counted fair hath turned to clay beneath life's funeral car. The wells of life lie hid within thy lip, how should the wine jar dare such nectar sip? Well may I drink his blood, for who is he that he should taste such blissful fellowship? The palace that to heaven its columns threw, the throne whose steps a king's abasement knew, I saw the ring-dove on its ruined porch sit gently sighing, where, oh where, coo, coo. Where be the lips that mock the ruby's hue, and where the wine that gives us life anew? Though wine for Moslems all unlawful be, drink thou, nor reck of Islam false or true. And though thou drink, forget not wisdom due, nor part with sense to choose 'twixt false and true. Wouldst thou for thee the red wine lawful know, to none wish ill, yet guard thy senses too. No eye so dim but may be lit by thee, no fool so weak but may find strength in thee. Thy power the Godhead's measure doth approve, unworthy energies are far from thee. Thy soul and mine alike shall pass away, when sweeps destruction o'er our little day. Yet when no longer heaven's blue vault we know, oft shall the moonlight kiss our sleeping clay. O thou whose power brought me to the birth, whose grace hath sheltered me while here on earth, though for 100 years I dare to prove thy mercy than my sins of greater worth. Soul, as a ball that down the field he threw, pass on to right or left as urged anew, for he who cast thee mid the trampling crew, he knew the end, he and no other knew. This rolling sphere, for me and thee, the tide of woe and grief that bears, envies the pride of life that in us dwells. Yet sit with me, and crush a flask ere life shall leave our side. Now will I buy good wine, both new and old, though right and left good seats in heaven be sold. Didst ask me, after death, where goes my soul? Give me the wine and go, my tale is told. When from thine eyes the light of life is fled, another rules the house where thou wast wed. Men come and go, and little know or care that 'neath their feet one who was Lord lies dead. When thy soul and mine own have passed away, upon our tombs a brick or two they'll lay. Then, if for other tombs a brick they need, thy clay or mine will serve the turn, they'll say. Wouldst thou be wise, from envy still be free, nor let base avarice encompass thee. Be swift as fire, tender as rippling stream, yet not as dust before the wind to flee. What man is sinless in this world of woe? If thou find such, record it ere thou go. I too have sinned, and then to purge my sin, I sinned again. Who then may virtue know? All these thou dost outweigh 100-fold. My secrets still from fools thou dost withhold. Yet lo, what dost thou 'mid the sons of men, since eye of man thine eyes may ne'er behold? What power in life is mine, is all of thee. World, soul, and heart, that is mine own, is thee. Thou art my being, every being thine, and I am not, yet am I all in thee. O heart, of this world's woe, what did I say? Said I, that bowers of bliss should mark thy way? What wilt thou do? Mine house unfurnished all, say thou, I entered not, and flee away. Let me not spent by time's injustice lie, nor bid my soul to grieve for souls passed by. Only my heart at my love's feet I'll lay, then seek good wine, nor waste the hours that fly. The counsel wise we find in courts of love, our sure defense from time's assault shall prove. we drink the cup of pleasure while we may, cheered and refreshed, that wine our spirits move. Why, friend, by this world's trials be distressed? For very shame it should not be confessed. For when thy robe of life is changed for clay, what matters was, or was not, or was guessed? 'Twere just complaint that life were lived in shame, that sinful joys life's daily round became, that laws were broken, duties unperformed, right left undone, and all deeds worthy blame. Since more than 60 years life may not last, move not a step till the full cup be passed. And ere thy skull be made a cup for wine, go, buy a jar of clay, and hold it fast. A while doth envy mortal man pursue. Did thy soul find its mate the wide world through? Men come and go, but as they pass along, who spends one moment as he fain would do? All we are drunken profligates today, consort with vagabonds and go their way. Beauty and spirit from our faith have fled, for lust and drunkenness alone we pray. More than thy kingdom's worth, a draught of wine, more than aught save what treads the path divine. The wine cup far outweighs Faradin's realm. The palace is not worth one stone of Yamshid's shrine. And hast thou also fallen for a day, beguiled by wine and pagans fair to stray? Turban from head, cup from the hand alike, fallen, nor thou in better case than they. Behold the form in which thou mouldedst me, 100 marvels hast thou wrought in me. Better than this I surely cannot be. Why should repentance be enjoined on me? True, we have sworn repentance, oft in vain, only to bind our bonds of shame again. Yet if we sinned unknowing, was it sin? Drunken with love were we, our fate was plain. Ah me, who drank when dregs of wine were sold, who gave to good and ill a welcome cold. Though both worlds to my feet should roll, I'd say, thou art as I was, who was drunk of old. Daily I vow this night I will repent, no more my life in wassail shall be spent. But the spring comes and roses bloom again, dear Lord, with good intentions be content. Hadst thou the world's foundations in thy hand, thou wert not of it. See thy being stand 'twixt nothingness and nothingness alone, time's shores around, but never bark to land. Behold the world's foundations overset, upon the worldly wise who throng it yet, the wine jar and the cup who loved so well. See the blood flow where lips in love have met. What hand hath raised thee up, O love of mine, whose rising doth the morn's bright face outshine? Fair maids their faces for the feast adorn, but thy sweet face lights all with love divine. Heed not the clamorous strife that fills the earth. Drink from his hand who bears the draught of worth. For that which through thy grace today was born, tomorrow shall be changed and shall give birth. I saw the drunkard lie, his brow was bared, the temple of his wisdom all uncared. Empty of sense and filled with wine he lay, yet he in waking praise to God declared. How shall the sluggard grace the hearth or hall in this life whose illusion fills them all? Wine is thy mistress, and the lamp is thine. The flood shall cover him when thou shalt call. Brows that for my faint heart still virgin shine, life-giving cup ne'er kissed by lips of mine. Oh, sorrow that my life's long night should come, nor ever night crown day with joy divine. Bring the health-giving wine I love so well, and bring the cup whose beauty casts a spell, the wine that as a chain my soul entwines, though I be mad for this heaven's grace to sell. Bid the cup-bearer wine at morn to bring, pure wine, though to our senses wine may cling. Here we in wild illusion wander all, so let the summons round the wide world ring. Dost know that thou art fallen, whence didst fall? Art free to speak, head, mouth, and teeth withal? 10 tongues hadst thou, they all were silent now. 200 hands, no strength among them all. Were the world guided to thy will, what then? And when thy life's last page is read, what then? Though for 100 years thy heart's desire, and yet 100 more were given, what then? Men say the miser is by sorrow cured, by wine and song may sorrow be endured. Yet wisdom holds that by 1 drop of wine 100 sorrows' worth is well assured. Where did thou go, and whence art come again? Back bent, with hoofs for nails, and hairy mane, thy name forgotten by the sons of men, a living token how man's life must wane. Though Barak and Faraz thy coursers be, let not vain pride in fortune master thee. Who may victorious o'er the heavens ride, each day in turn fresh hopes will scattered see. Why vex thy soul with tangled law and line? Rather with fragrant locks thy locks entwine. Or ere time waste thy blood within the tomb, shed thou the wine-jar's blood in cup divine. The nightingale may well the beauty mourn of yon sweet rose by envious breezes torn. Drown deep your cares in wine, for many a rose the winds shall bury in a grave forlorn. Though want is better than unlawful gain, who could from wine at fair maid's hand refrain? High revel, and the vagrant's freedom too, for what 1 drop can give, ye search in vain. Is it thy grace hath made us what we are? Obey we or refuse, stand fast or wander far. Thy favor at thy will thou dost dispense, to deem things done as naught, as one to make or mar. 'Tis morn, and I with wine and woman here Even with dawn, repentance came not near. Wouldst tell me that old tale of Noah's flood? Go, bring me peace of mind, and then I'll hear. Bring me red wine, musk-scented, to set free my soul from sound of words that weary me. Give me a flask of wine, ere envious fate make jars of clay that once was me and thee. The hermit vainly dreamt he might atone by prayer and fasting to the world unknown. Fill thy cup quickly, for eternity, the thing that is must be, has ever shown. We are but earth and water, fire and wine, made and unmade are we by power divine. While we the body wear, our light is dimmed. The body spent, the soul at length may shine. The path of dread is still the way of life. Beneath the sod we seek repose from strife. So when the journey ends, for me and you, we sleep, and know not this nor other life. O thou who naught didst well, but all things ill, yet by God's grace so far doth work his will, trust not in pardon, for this rede is sure, that whether done or left, each act must fate fulfill. Be service great or small, 'tis naught to thee, so in thy service ever would I be. Thou grantest fortune, and dost ills withhold. Lord, deal in mercy even so with me. Good wine is here, and bright the morn doth shine, though to intemperance our guest incline. My burning heart may sure from dust be raised, so mix not o'er much water with the wine. Give me another cup of rosy wine, take thou my fire, but let the draught be mine, till reason shall overcome my heart's desire, my love shall be the wine jar's form divine. Now bud and blossom call to wine and glee, a truce to sanctity, come drink with me. Ere fate cut short the measure of my days, we'll drink beside the stream, though moments flee. The season of our youth comes not again, we'll drink a cup to banish care and pain. I locked the door at dawn, that we may pledge the rising sun ere he must sink again. They who have sojourned here and gone before, their dream of pride is past, they wake no more. Drink and pass on, and learn the truth I tell, all thou hast seen are shadows, and no more. Since envious fate no respite gives to man, give me the cup, I'll drink while yet I can. 'Twere shame in vain regrets to waste the time, in these few days 2 worlds of life we scan. Wert thou the mass that to the rocks gave birth, the flood of fate should sweep thee from the earth. The world is clay, sweet singer, tune thy song. Man's breath is wind, good wine were better worth. Tales of the night of power still they tell, write me a power in taverns, I to dwell. The day my privilege the tavern knows, such night of power for me will serve full well. Now, sweet and fresh, behold the dawning day, the wine the night refused shall greet the sun's bright ray. Drink with us, friend, for life a warp to weave. Tomorrow may rebel, though these short hours obey. Now from the flask of purest wine we'll take 10 cups, if one should fail thy thirst to slake. O mistress mine, ere yet the potter come, a wine cup of thy clay or mine to make. Pour me a cup filled high with blood-red wine, so shall my veins be filled with fire divine. For no true-hearted friend to-day is found to cheer my soul, save this one friend of mine. For all the ill that wine may bring to thee, drink at all times, in every company, for so thy soul shall be set free from care, nor filled as mine, nor spoiled as thine might be. And if I once or twice have fallen, say, where was the need for men to turn away and voice reproach? Would God that all would drink, nor let me see one sober for a day. Mark this, I feign to seek debauchery, but to confirm thee in sobriety. 'Tis the broad road the great and wise should tread. Avoid the path that leads to infamy. So the wheat's kernel furnish food for me, and draw well deep my cup of wine may be, with roast to cheer, and thee to share the feast. In solitude kings well might envy me. Within the potter's house, behold, they stand, beside the wheel, perfect in form and brand. Goblet and vase arranged in order due, the king's clay moulded by the beggar's hand. The deeds of quick and dead are done by thee, the wheel of heaven distraught is spun by thee. Though I be evil, I the master's slave, who sinneth when created all by thee? O great beyond the grasp of human sense, in whose esteem are equal impotence, my duty or rebellion, I who slept, now waking, mercy crave in reverence. O wheel of heaven, my heart is racked with pain, my robe of joy by thee is rent in twain. The air I breathe is turned to flame of fire, I drink, and ashes in my mouth remain. Rejoice that yesterday the lots were cast, that set the bounds of thine ambitions vast. 'Tis well for thee, that without will of thine, each morrow's tomb is ready ere 'tis past. My master's self has broke my jar of wine, closed in my face the door of life divine, has cast my rosy wine upon the ground. Not I am dazed, but thou, O master mine. O heart that wast awhile the angel's guest, till bound to him who tore thee from my breast, the draught that doomed thee to mortality, set loose the bonds of life, and gave eternal rest. Now veiled thy face from self, and seen of none, now colour, form, and place beneath the sun. O peeper from the lattice, know thyself, for thou the eye art seen, the seen and seer one. Last night I dashed to bits a vase of worth, drink if you will, gave this effect to mirth, And lo, the vase cried out and said to me, Once I was flesh, thou shalt in turn be earth. O soul, if thou wert free from earth to rise, and mount a radiant spirit to the skies, in the ninth heaven to sit, 'twere shame for thee, content to dwell on earth thou dost despise. End of section 7.
Section 8 of the Rubaiyat of Omar Khayyam, translated by E. A. Johnson. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Recording by Algy Pug. Section 8. Quatrains 701 to 762. Ye who gratify your own desires, your precious souls consume with earthly fires, do ye not know full well that these destroy the happiness to which each one aspires? A man said to a harlot, Art distraught, thou who each hour in a new net art caught? She said, O Sheik, all that thou say'st I am, but art thou all thou seem'st, or hidest aught? The world's a kitchen, and its reek is hot. How long dost grieve for what was or was not? The pious hold the world is loss unmixed. Reject it all. Fortune shall be thy lot. O potter, doth regret make no appeal to thee when tyrant's clay is on the wheel? Faridun's fingers or Kai Khusru's head, sure thine intelligence must something feel. Angel of joyful foot, behold the dawn! Full cup and wine set forth should greet the morn. Foredoomed to dust by days that come and go, dead monarchs by 10,000s lie forlorn. Behold a heaven in all that lies around, where verdant meads and nectar springs abound. All this is thine. What need to speak of hell, since here is heaven with heavenly beauties crowned? No life shaped all to man's desire may be, so seek delight in that is given thee. Though every secret be by fate revealed, thine own endeavour vain must ever be. If this world have gone well with thee, beware! Make not thyself a friendless prey to care. Many have proved, ere thou and I were born, the world cares not for any man's despair. Fortune, thou dost confess thyself to be a votary of wrong and cruelty. Sinners are favoured, saints are plunged in woe. Folly it is, or vice, whose work we see. While thou art free, choose thou the better part, and lift the burden from thy lover's heart. For beauty's kingdom lasteth but a day, and thine shall from thee all too soon depart. Free of my thoughts the cup-bearer shall be, for though my heart be locked, he holds the key. When I am sad, he bringeth wine to cheer. When I rejoice, he smiles my joy to see. Cast the account of life while yet ye may. What did ye bring, and what can take away? And he who saith, I drink not, lest I die, drink he or no, sure comes the fatal day. I saw an old man by the tavern door. I said, What news of those who went before? He said, Drink now, for many a one like me has passed away, and ne'er was heard of more. I chanced to pass the potter's stall one day. Each moment something new he made from clay. I saw with understanding more than all my father's dust upon the wheel that lay. Seekest thou heart's ease? See the cup at need to cheer thee, and thy love by brook and mead. Take, for this wheel of time full many a fare hath changed to cup or flask, nor wrecked the deed. 4 elements and 7 stars in turn gave thee the fires that still within thee burn. Yet drink, for 1,000-fold my warning stands, who passes, passes, none may e'er return. Welcome art thou, O solace of my heart, and yet I know thee not, or know in part. Drink, not for my sake, but for his, one draught, that I may know thee even as thou art. O fragrant wine, would thou didst fill the cup to bind the wounded feet of wisdom up! But he who drinks of thee no respite knows, till all his wisdom's pearls be rendered up. O thou who openest wide the door, show me the way, thou who hast gone before. Many stretch out the hand, but still I seek his who shall be when these are all no more. If thou be wise, let senses sleep till they give thee to drink who drink the cup from I. Hushed senses little reck though wisdom fail, nor slumber doubts of ignorance convey. This faithless world provides the meanest crew with all they lack of goods and fortune too. Even a place of business may be theirs, they need but ask for aught they have in view. Why vainly cling to grief that worketh ill, and make an unjust world more unjust still? Since after all this world must come to naught, choose whether ye would such a lot fulfil. Who bade the ripening grape be sweet, and who soured the must or ere the wine be new? Though from the block with axe a lute be wrought, was it the axe that wrought the wood so true? O Lord, the door of bounty open wide, nor by man's favour only me provide. Behold me how by wine I am distraught, that I mark not the flow of sorrow's tide. Had choice been given me, I ne'er had come, nor now would go. Why should I leave my home? But best of all it were, if to this world this coming, being, going, ne'er had come. My heart to solve the riddle strives in vain, nor may the goal of sense or skill attain. Yet cup and wine may here a heaven provide, although that other heaven thou shouldst not gain. If thou wouldst life's foundations firm bestow, set thine heart free awhile from grief and woe. Seek solace with good wine and comrade true, as pours the wine, life's savour sweet shall flow. Declare my fault, ye heavens, and tell me why Ye cast me trampled under foot to lie. I needs must beg to win my daily bread, and from the gutter drink, or else I die. Beware lest frenzy hold thee hopelessly, nor at the door of virtue suppliant lie. Drink if ye will, whether ye drink or no, to enter heaven through hell were vain to try. Wouldst thou be held in favour of mankind? To all convictions bear an open mind. With Moslem, Jew, or Christian, though thou deal, speak well of all, so favour shalt thou find. Who seeks my heart by fraud shall rue the sin, for many a ruin lies that heart within. Who plunges in the stream that bears me on, may worthy prove a seeing eye to win. Pour me a draught of wine, of good red wine, and teach me in flood to flow these veins of mine. For save the cup, no friend to-day is found, whose hand and heart are cleansed by fire divine. O pure new wine, O draught beyond compare, I'll gather radiance from thy beauty rare, till as I pass, all men shall wondering say, Whence art thou come to us, O drinker fair? Rest in thy pain content, and so be free. Let gain or loss alike be naught to thee. Let not the turns of fate thine heart oppress, Sufficient to the end thy strength shall be. Escaped the tavern, still to bear its stain, Thy garments yet the reek of hell retain. My bowl that broke my waning life portends The wine that may, the fate that must, remains. Thy speech of me is all with ill intent, tales of impiety and unbelief are blent. What if I grant that all the tales are true? Hast thou attained to grace that thou wouldst malice vent? Spring comes and goes. With each new yesterday another page of life we fold away. Wine, saith the healer, is the antidote, to grief the poison. Drink while yet ye may. Ere bone and sinew reach their prime, mark where the bounds are set, and learn the limits of thy strength, nor cross the fowler's net. Though Zal and Rustum be the foes, though Hatim be the friend, who feareth not, who trusteth not, his race endureth yet. Better to gladden one sad heart than win the world in fee, to bind one soul in bonds of love than set 1,000 free. The world must pass, the lover die, but this remaineth still, that joy was shared, that love hath bound my lover's soul to me. Of worldly goods why should my soul be fain, or doubt I leave with joy this life of pain? Fill high the cup with wine, for no man knows his latest breath shall pass his lips again. They bid me drink no wine lest ill ensue, and for my sin eternal fires be due. It may be so, yet sure the hour of joy that wine can give, both worlds could ne'er renew. Never thine heart should cling to pomp or state, for never such brought man to honour's gate. But as soft tresses bind and break at will, so deal with hearts till time thy crest abate. How long wilt thou lament this world of woe? Thine eyes with tears, thine heart with blood o'erflow. Cheer thee with wine, and let endeavour strong increase thy strength, until 'tis time to go. The world one breath, and I one soul therein that draweth breath, as many me within. Therefore give thanks for that thou livest well. This world must pass, none may remain therein. No fool am I to rush upon the spear, with wine to friendly shore my bark I'll steer. No fire am I to test the cauldron's force, and if these be no good, why sin is here. Drink wine, for round the wits that brightest shine, as ivy creeps, its tendrils softly twine. Why say ye, mocking, that I broke my vow? Better 100 than 1 flask of wine. Seek not the desert, save thou be prepared to use the dervish ways, of pleasure shared with dervish dance and prayer, that forward still, with wine and cleanly speech, your way be fared. Desire of ruby lips and cups of wine, of lute and harp to which our souls incline, are vanities. And God knows well that ye, till ye be reft from such, are naught divine. Ere yet the cup of death for thee be filled, ere yet thy treasures all by fate be spilled, gather a portion here, for there we know the empty hand finds naught of hopes fulfilled. Thou, of created things, the sum and seal, learn what the spirit world may not conceal. Angel and demon, God and man art thou, so far as each in turn thou dost reveal. Though fate o'erwhelm thee and thy grief be sore, the wheel of time oppress thee more and more, yet from vile hands take naught, though nectar sweet, 'twere ill to burn in fire for evermore. Cheered by the cup, in memory we trace all that was not, or was but for a space. The borrowed garment that became our chains is cast aside, and freedom takes her place. Strive to the end that thy reward be sure. Drink to the dregs if thou wouldst taste the cure. When murmurs fill the air, be thou content, so to the goal thou only shall endure. First in thyself firm thou sustainest me, last from thyself why dost thou sunder me? Full was thy favour, grudging not at all, why to an envious world dost deliver me? While I for omens searched the book of fate, an ardent friend exclaimed, "The man whose mate is fair as summer's morn might surely deem a year-long night were bliss in such a state." That wealth which in this world thou dost destroy, to feed the soul, or body, or enjoy, that thou art right to strive for, but all else, dear life or time, deserves not to employ. I had abandoned all, both loot and wine, had fled from all, though not from love divine, and yet it seemed that Christian wine alone I had forsworn, such converts strange were mine. Content that skies be soft, and banished fear, good wine, when worlds are sad, shall make good cheer. Clay's thy beginning, and thine end is clay. Deny in vain, for lo, the end is near. Thou who in wantonness didst speed the dart that struck with grief and woe thy fellow's heart, go spend thy life in mourning for thy sense, and hug thy shame, great as thy folly's part. Why woke the cock at dawn a world that slept, as up the east the silver radiance crept? He bade us in the mirror of the dawn behold the parting night, unwatched, unwept. Oh, would to God my soul might hope to rest, the long road reach the goal to which addressed. 1,000 years in earth's deep womb I'd lie, so spring might come at last, and I be blessed. Burnt, burnt on earth, and yet in hell to burn, fires of remorse and judgment in their turn. How long for pity wilt thou vainly plead? Shall the Almighty ruth from Omar learn? End of section 8. End of the Rubaiyat of Omar Khayyam, by Omar Khayyam, translated by E. A. Johnson.